Okay, let me check and see. Holy crap. All right, let me see. Yes, we are live. Give me a second. Oh, God. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, shit. Oh my God. All right. Welcome to what the hell? Episode 704 of the Black Brain Trust. This is Black Tech Talk, the macro on micromobility, plus jobs, careers, and opportunities. Okay, you guys, listen. I plan to do this shit at 9 o'clock this morning. I woke up and my bathroom was flooded. Pardon me. I am so sorry, you guys. I'm so freaking sorry. Okay. Uh, the homeowner stuff, that whole thing, right? Where you get up in the morning, you're like, and then next thing you know, you're on the phone, and then you're trying to get people to come and fix things because even though I'm pretty handy with tools and stuff, I'm not a plumber, and it looks as if like there's a whole one side of the house that's going to have to get snaked out. It's going to be a big thing. So yeah, it turned into an all-day affair. You work Monday through Friday, and then Saturday you just think you're going to be doing some general, home upkeep maintenance, and then come to find out your bathroom's flooded. So geez, you guys, I'm so sorry. And I had to keep pushing it back because I had like two plumbers cancel on me. So yeah, it's been some bullshit. Um okay. Sorry. That was my quick ramble because that's what the hell's been going on. Wait, I haven't done this. Right? What's customary? I gotta do this. Let's see, we gotta go welcome everyone. Okay. Well, wait, hold on. Trades are racist, complex design. Do I? Yes. Don't you start, bro. Welcome everyone. All right, we're gonna do this here. Okay, so we're gonna welcome everyone. We're gonna show that. Boom, right there. Welcome everyone. So we need to welcome everyone because that's only the proper thing to do. And then I'm gonna do this. Press 201 if the sound and music is okay. Sorry, you guys. This is just all bad. Like, dude, I was not anticipating this shit happening today. All right. So I'm just looking for some 201s to let me know that everything sounds all cool to everybody. Is that cool? Yeah. 201? 201 anyone. Going once, going twice or thrice or however many times. 201. Is everything sounding cool before we get started? 201. Okay, I got it. All right, cool. So let me do this. It's been a while since I've seen 11 people in the live stream before I literally got started. So, you guys are really interested in this stuff? All right, cool. So let me do this. So we got, let's see, Ramil threw a comment in the chat. Welcome. All right. We got Don McKee. What's going on, bro? Just being jazzy. Hey, lady, how you doing? Sexy Red. Hey, what are you doing over here? Welcome. We got Rael. We got Winston. What's going on, you guys? Welcome. Rael, you got the link, bro. We got Dro, Richard Dixon. Hey, what's going on, fam? Peace. Shonda. Okay, cool. All right. So let me do this. I'm gonna get my screen share up, and we'll get started. What we want to do here. Well, let me go ahead and just preface this. I had it all together in my brain, but then like all this crap was going on um, with the flooded bathroom and stuff. So what I want to do is give a bit of a primer on what micromobility is, right? Like the macro perspective, right? So there's going to be a few articles that I'm going to cover here um, that is really going to sort of give sort of like the macro outlook, right? Sometimes what it is that I speak to might be more of the micro side. Well, it is the micro side because I'm more of on the operations and development side, right? But then there's the greater industrial side, right? The bigger macro picture, right? And this has a lot to do with the rising gas costs, inflation, all these other things, right? So this is a sector of the transportation industry that's burgeoning, that's going to come in to fill in this gap that we're starting. It's a gap for people who don't know or understand micromobility. It's a gap. For those who do, we understand our role in filling the gap, right? So that's what this discussion is about, the macro on micromobility. Okay. And within that, we're going to talk about jobs. We're going to talk about careers. We're going to talk about business opportunities. Okay. So it's kind of like more of a, I don't know if we want to call it a follow up on the Ghost Kitchen one. It actually it is, but we're going to just hit it from a different angle. So, with all of that being said, and we got LOM in the house. What's going on, bro? Peace. All right, let me get my thingy. What is it called? Thingamajig. That's it. Zingamajig. Right. Let me get that up. Boom, and we're gonna get the first article up and going. This one is from PitchBook. The Great Robot Awakening. Mobile machines take over the supply chain. And all of the links to these articles are in the description. So, if you guys want to go back and reference these articles or what have you, just go back to this video and check the description, and they are there. All right. The world's robot workforce is on the move, no longer limited to their stationary posts on assembly lines and in warehouses. Autonomous robots are increasingly fleet-footed, making their way up and down the supply chain. Along the way, they are earning job titles from garçon to pack mule. Sales of mobile robots have long lagged behind those of industrial robots, but that is poised to change for the first time this year, according to intelligence firm ABI Research. The overall robotics industry grew 28% year over year in 2021 to set a record of nearly 40,000 units sold, according to the Association for Advancing Automation. Venture capital funding has moved in lockstep with robotics companies, raising 8.2 billion across 360 deals in 2021, more than double the prior year's total value, according to PitchBook data. For investors, more independent robots have opened up a range of new vertical applications, whether it be inspecting oil rigs or serving food. Yeah, okay. Every industry, blue collar and white collar, the robots are creeping in, said David Mandel, managing partner at Emerging Ventures, whose robotic portfolio includes vision company Apera and crop scanning startup Bloomfield Robotics. Their newfound mobility and well rounded skill sets are owed to a confluence of technological improvements. The latest vision systems have made it easier to navigate variable surroundings, have made it easier to navigate variable surroundings. Improved chips can run AI algorithms at the edge to make decisions without communicating with the cloud. Okay, we have done a lot of discussions about edge computing, Mike V and I. Okay. That was on some of the older tech talks, right? We talked about edge computing, right? Which is essentially like having the majority of the computing done in the edge layer of the communication pipeline as opposed to the cloud layer, right? That means that you basically are allocating cloud resources purely for storage data, while most of the computing, you want to try to shoot for about 85% to 90%, is happening on the edge layer, which is essentially in the data layer, right? Between the data and the IoT. You want it all there, not on the cloud side. Lightweight, energy dense batteries allow robots to run for much of the day. And this is what I primarily focus on when I'm sourcing my own devices, right? Battery capacity and ease of use, which with regards to swapping out the batteries, right? So the two things you want to look at is one, how long the batteries last, right, in terms of capacity, and then two, are they swappable? So you'd like to keep the device in use, but what you'd like to do is just swap batteries. So for those of you would be micromobility proprietors, you want to look at devices that enable you to swap batteries, right? They're just giving you some of my industrial inputs. Armed with these capabilities, robots can better handle the randomness of the real world. Oh, yeah. As technologies mature, they generalize better, said Jim Adler, founding managing director of Toyota Ventures. You don't want them to fit like a glove. You want them to fit like a mitten. Yeah, that is true. You kind of want to be able to scale with one type of vehicle, right? So you want to have a vehicle that you can kind of do different things with, but it's one bespoke design, right? So that makes total sense. Macroeconomic nudges are also at work. Rising e-commerce sales have forced retailers and shippers to be more efficient, leading to more investment in automation and experimentation with micro fulfillment. I would invite you all to check out the last Black Business Talk. It was called Ghost Kitchens, Dark Stores, and Micro Fulfillment. Micro fulfillment networks and ultra fast delivery. Disruption to supply chains has pushed executives to put an end to added put in put an added emphasis on continuity. Robots work 8 days a week. 8 days a week. Is there an extra day that I was not made aware of? And increasingly, robots are gaining traction in industries hit hard by labor tightness. Uh-oh. What do they call that? The Great Resignation? I think that's what they called it. In an effort to gain ground on leaders like Amazon, retailers of all stripes are tapping robotic startups for helping automating their warehouses. European startup Exotech raised $335 million at a $2 billion valuation in January, round led by Goldman Sachs. The company's robotics systems used by retailers like Gap and Uniqlo is designed to fetch goods in ultra dense warehouses that span 36 vertical feet. So that's um, a vertical sort of a vertical conceptually designed logistics bot system, right? Where it works on verticality as opposed to horizontal type situations, right? Like Amazon warehouses are largely like horizontal, right? They're like these huge spanses, and then you have maybe different types of outfits where you have high verticality, right? So you have robotics companies that make these supply chain logistics bot systems for warehouses that deal with verticality. Factory to door service. Warehouses have been a natural target for automation amid pressures caused by e-commerce growth. Other parts of the supply chain present less controlled environments, but the latest robotic offerings are up to task. Fabric raised 200 million in October. You know what? I have a hard time reading this shit sometimes because I just look at the numbers. Part of it is that me and my partner, our stuff is self funded, right? Which is cool. It has its advantages. And when you look at these numbers, you go, man, I wish I had that money. But then at the same time, I already know what comes along with that, and I'm like, eh. so so sometimes I'm just like, damn, that's a lot of money, but okay, sorry. All right, Fabric raised 200 million in October, one of the sector's largest rounds, to build its automated system for micro fulfillment centers. go back to that live stream from a couple weeks ago, man. God damn it. The idea is to take systems that have transformed distribution centers and scale them down for use in urban warehouses. Mike V, where are you? Where are you, bro? Hold on. Let me check it. Let me see if no one's there yet. Okay. Because damn it, Mike, where are you? Robotic forklift startups have also become a hot commodity among venture capitalists. In January, Vecna Robotics raised 65 million and Phantom Auto raised 42 million. Give me a second. Boston Dynamics, whose robotic dog Spot has long grabbed headlines, recently began selling a robot for unloading trucks following the company's $1.1 billion acquisition by Hyundai. Okay. So just so you guys know now, Boston Dynamics is now Korean owned. You heard it here first. These efforts are helping to make automated last mile delivery a real. You know what, dude? I need to find something to throw, given the shit that I just had to endure on Ramil's live stream. What, just like a day or two ago? You gotta be fucking kidding me. As if I don't know what the hell I'm talking. Okay. Anyway, efforts are helping to make automated last mile delivery a reality alongside door-to-door autonomous vehicles like those made by Neuro. Folks, we know what we're talking about on the Brain Trust, okay? We know what the hell we're talking about. Robots are also getting closer to end users by taking service job. Oh my god! It's what the hell? Okay, Ulysses, get through this. Get through this. Get through this. Get through this. White Castle is testing burger flipping robots made by Myso Robotics, which is targeting a $40 million equity crowdfunding round. SoftBank backed Keenan Robotics landed $200 million last year for its delivery robots in hotels and restaurants. Oh my god. I told Ramil, I said, you got to look at where the money is going. Okay. For those of you guys, there's a lot of new people here, so welcome all of you. You may have heard me on that live stream, right? So now you're getting a taste of what we do on a regular basis over here. And yeah, sometimes I'll like blow my lid because yeah, I've been saying this stuff, and here we go. We just kind of go over articles that are being published about what's going on in the industry, and we're seeing that there are millions and millions and millions of dollars floating around in this, right? And this is in sectors that literally we can view on the ground in our own communities. So, are we going to just let this money just circle in and then we don't capture any of it? That's the question. And Bear Robotics waiter named Servy has made its debut at restaurants including Denny's and Chili's. Okay, so there you go. Now you got Denny's and Chili's using robotic servers. All right. From warehouse to farmyard, the forces that have pushed robots down the supply chain have also moved them closer to producers. Indoor farming startup Plenty recently received 400 million. Oh my god. I have a hard time reading these numbers. 400 million alongside a shift of strategy. It's now selling indoor farms directly to customers like grocery and restaurant chains. Holy shit. So now here's what we did. A dark farm. A fucking dark farm. Give me a second. The pitch is greater control over produce supply chain alongside predictable costs and yields. This is just me taking a pause to let you guys soak all of this in. In Pliny's farms, tower gardens, so basically those are vertical gardens. Refer back to our guerrilla farming live stream, episode 311, somewhere on our routes around there. Look up the guerrilla farming live stream we did, where we talked about literally this right here: tower gardens, right? So they're basically these vertical, they're vertical gardens, right, where you grow, uh, you know, tomatoes, lettuce, strawberries. You grow a bunch of stuff, but you grow it vertical instead of on the ground, right? And earlier in this article, they talked about vertical robotic systems, right? See, so you have these vertical robotic systems that are integrated with vertical farms to serve as what? Dark farms. Dude, I'm saying this is the next level shit, you guys. You're gonna have to let this one really, really embed itself into your brain, right? This is the new shit. This is what this channel is about. We are at the forefront. This is the ahead of the opportunity curve conversations. There's literally nowhere else where you're going to be hearing us breaking this shit down. Okay. In Pliny's farms, tower gardens of salad greens and other produce are grown and harvested with the help of robotic arms that pluck and place the towers for harvesting by human hands. Field farming lacks this controlled environment. We have some really hard problems to solve in the field, said Pliny co founder and chief science officer Nate Story. There's no way that Pliny can supply all the world's food demands. Well, if you just leave it upon companies to simply do it, and we don't have any active engagement in ourselves, then yeah, I suppose so, right? To meet the challenge, fleets of autonomous tractors are rolling out into the field. Last year, Monarch Tractor raised 61 million, and Bear Flag Robotics was acquired by John Deere for 250 million. Both systems allow a single worker to manage multiple electric tractors that can work day and night. So, if you guys want to know how this automation is going to work, that's what it is. It's going to be like a human overseeing robots. There you go. Even the humble wheelbarrow is getting an upgrade. Burrow, which has created a robot that transports fruit picked by workers in the field, raised 10.9 million in Series A in September, co-led by S2G Ventures and Toyota Ventures. While these robotic applications have long been envisioned, many are still unproven in practice. It still remains to be seen how customers will react to robots in restaurants, or whether the success of the warehouse can be translated to last mile delivery applications. Now, I will say this: the latter part of that, we already have use case numbers to suggest that that actually would be the case. The former part, that is more of a social interaction type of situation, right? How people react to bots in their normal environs. So, for example, at a restaurant, we typically are sitting at a restaurant. Let's say I'm with a lady friend or something, or I'm chilling with, I'm with my daughter, or I'm with my lady friend or her daughter, or my daughter, or whatever, right? And we're all sitting at a table chilling. We're typically uh, we we typically know, or let's just say, we're used to like just a person coming up and saying, do you guys need anything, water, or do you need a refill, or do you guys need napkins or anything like that, or whatever, right? Your order will be here in just a few minutes or something, right? Instead of that person, it's a bot, right? how do how do how do people accept the difference between like that human interaction and the bot interaction, right? In that type of environment versus like the warehouse type of situation, last mile type of situation. Honestly, what that is that's a streamlining of operations based on, one, the technological application of the bots themselves, and let's just say the lay of the land, how your warehouse is situated, what the products are, and stuff like that. What you have to do is look. AI is not this thing where it just comes in and figures shit out. No, you use it. The bots do what they do. and they have an artificial intelligence that tells them how to best do it. But it's up to humans to employ it, right? You see, so that's where the deep dives, these types of conversations have to happen, right? So we're talking about the best use cases and applications for AI. But that was the first article, and I kind of really just talked, and there's probably like a lot of comments. So let me see what's going on here. Let's go up here. Who we got in the house? Okay, I shouted out. Okay, Shonda H. Richard. Yeah, Big Evel. Okay, what's going on, man? Welcome. Peace. Panther God. What's going on, man? Rael. We got LOM. Let's see here. Professor Black Ops. What's going on, G? Welcome. Damiete, what's going on, bro? Doug, we got you. We got Doug in the house. We got Enhanced Utility in the house. What's going on, man? Welcome. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Devin, you snob. What the hell? Hold on. One of the OG snobs. Hold on. I gotta. Sorry, I had to do it. Yeah, Devin, what's going on, man? Yeah, Big Evel, you said what's going on? You said we still got control. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we're caught up on everybody. Dion BD, what's going on, man? Peace. Welcome, man. All right, let's see here. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Devin gets it, dude. Like that snob joke goes back. It goes back so far that like yeah, it goes back. So yeah. All right, here we go. Oh wait, here we go. All right, this one is from Business Insider. How Glovo co-founder Oscar Pierre helped build a startup worth 2.6 billion. Jesus. Now, I just need you guys to just take a look at this right here, right? This startup that we're going to read about here, no thanks. This startup that we're talking about, okay, so you see a guy with a bike and a bag, and he's delivering stuff. And his startup's worth $2.6 billion. So let's talk about it. Glovo's first meetings were in a McDonald's, said Dilmer Alvarado, the first employee at the Catalan startup. At that point, Glovo wasn't even Glovo yet. 7 years later, the company was part of one of the biggest deals in the technology sector in Spain. Germany's delivery, Germany's delivery hero, a giant in the home delivery sector, has taken over the Spanish company in a deal that values Glovo at $2.6 billion, excluding debt, according to Bloomberg. Oscar Pierre and Sasha Mashad, co-founders of Glovo, will soon lose control of the company they founded together in Barcelona in 2015. Well, they'll lose control, but they'll gain a shit ton of money. Although, in reality, Glovo hadn't really belonged to them for some time. That's what Pierre himself said in a recent interview with ITNIG, in which he revealed that he had less than 10% stake in the company when he launched when he was just 22 years old. Dude, really? He confessed that the company had already ceased to be independent at the time of the interview in October 2021. To understand the story, we need to go back to those McDonald's meetings that Alvarado alluded to. It was a place of huge importance for the Catalan company because of what it symbolized. McDonald's was a hub for riders and orders, and so it was crucial to Glovo's success. It all started with Postmates. Oh shit! So they actually used a different platform apparently. In 2014, and after returning from the US, where Pierre had discovered Postmates, a delivery company founded in 2011 and acquired by Uber in 2020 for 2.65 billion, he decided to set up his own startup that followed the American company's model. Here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing about this. This is just a quick sidebar. You know, I kind of followed the same path. In various live streams in the past, I've mentioned that I started with the startup that I started with was Bird Scooters, right? I started with them about 4 years ago. Okay. And it was kind of like the same thing. I worked with them. I did various roles. I relocated from where I used to live to where I live now to launch. Right. The pandemic kind of ended up keeping me here, and this is kind of just where I am now. Right. But reality is that it was like you take away from the time that you have at startups and stuff like that because you're a part of the problem solving process, and there's so much that you learn from it that sometimes that um your time might be up with that company, but you have to really truly understand what it is that you actually did and what you learned there, and what it is that you could take to your next venture, your next job, or your own company if you chose to start it up. So it's like this resonates a lot because he was familiar with a US based startup, Postmates, which was not a competitor to Bird, but was in the same industry, micromobility, right? And I came from Bird. So I can understand how it was that he came from something. He kind of got a peek into something and then was like, boom, I got an idea. That's my whole point. Pierre and his partner at the time, Marta Ripoll, registered the company something something rather in September of that same year. Soon after, Ripley left Spain to study. Pierre and Alvarado, who had met the entrepreneur through mutual acquaintances, were left behind. That same September, he joined the project as a jack of all trades, working across everything from marketing to app design. Kind of like what I do. Oh my God. I had some guy saying, "You're like an expert in 20 different things." And I'm like, okay, do you realize how many things there are in the world to be an expert at? There's like literally millions. So if I'm an expert in, let's just say 20, and I never even claimed to be an expert in 20, that's not much. But anyway, 3 months later, they gave a presentation to the Catalan startup accelerator Connector, which was founded by Carlos Blanco, an important Spanish entrepreneur and business angel. The idea was to bring the Postmates model to Spain. What I tell you, if you're in the goddamn industry, you understand how it all works and all that stuff, then you take from that and then you make your own version of it, add your own bits and pieces to it. Boom. Carlos Blanco who was Pierre's mentor during his year at Connector, recalled that there were two minimum requirements to join his accelerator. You had to have a product that was already launched and have two full-time partners. Pierre had neither. I have to say that my partner has recently left me. It's just me, no one else. Do you want me to continue? Asked Pierre before starting his project presentation with Connector mentors. Sure, since you're here, tell us about it. Nice. At the presentation, there were hundreds of investors and mentors. Sasha Mashad, who would later become co-founder of Glovo, was one of them. When Pierre finished his presentation, only three people came up to talk to him, excited about his proposal. Blanco was one of those people who asked him, "Do you have anything to do with Oscar Pierre, the tech entrepreneur?" The young man replied, "Yes, he's my father." That convinced me, Blanco said. When I was studying, I used to go to the lectures his father gave on entrepreneurship and technology. His father was a smart man, so the son had to be smart too. Listen, man, there's something to be said about pedigree. I need experienced people around me. Blanco Machado, along with two other connector mentors, decided to join a round that Pierre was preparing. At that time, February 2015, the young Catalan was knocking on every possible door. Through the now defunct Founder 2B platform, which served as a bridge between investors and founders of early stage startups, he contacted Javier Sanchez Marco. I don't know who that is, a technology entrepreneur. He was one of Glovo's first business angels and still an investor in the company. We went for a coffee and he showed me his PowerPoint, but he caught my attention. He was only 22 or 23 years old, and it was very clear to me. I saw a very modest guy with clear ideas, and I remember he said to me, "Javier, I'm young, I may have the drive and the desire, but I need experienced people around me." Sanchez Marco said. And you know what? That shows that he's got a level head on his shoulders, right? Because what he does know is he understands the technology and the application of it, right? But then there's also other things in the field, right? When it comes to business, that experienced people will see that somebody who's young and understands the technology but may not understand, say, like the intricate business side of things may see. And this is the reason why you need to have experienced mentors around you, people who know business. That coffee was followed by another meeting with Sanchez Marco's wife, Blanca, now at Accenture. Okay, that's a huge financial firm. To validate the investment and get to know Pierre. I hadn't invested in any startup, but I liked Oscar so much that I told him, if you need investment, let me know. And in the first round, he did. In February 2015, we entered, said the entrepreneur. God, I almost want to do this type of stuff, man. I don't know. Maybe I just want too much control. In that first round, Global raised $157,900. Dude, I could do so much with that. Mostly from small private investors. All the people who shared the beginning of Global's journey agreed on the magnetism of the young Pierre, who was already thinking of scaling the business, of doing something big. Well, he fundamentally understands micromobility. That's why he understands how easy it is to scale, right? It just really just becomes a matter of whether you have the proper operations and infrastructure to enable the scaling. That's what you need. He hasn't changed since the beginning. Besides, it hasn't gone to his head, but now he's much more self confident, Blanco stressed. Oscar was a person with a lot of charisma. He had a very clear vision of what he wanted to do, and all above, he had a lot of commitment, Alvarado recalled. From delivering orders on the street by bicycle to capturing 2 million and making the leap to Italy. Oh my God, dude, okay, reading this part is going to kill me. Sasha Mashad had been the chief technology officer of Star Media and director of the British betting company Betfair in Spain and Portugal. In 2015, he met Pierre and he believed in Global immediately. Now, you know what's interesting? Okay, first of all, for those of you who don't know, that's my role. I'm a CTO as well. So, yeah, I read this stuff, and this is why it just irks the shit out of me sometimes. Um, there's a company I covered in the last live stream, the Black Business Talk. It's called Hellbiz. They have a division that's in betting as well, and they're all in Italy too. I'm not trying to make any allusions to anything, you guys. I'm just saying, it just, it's just, just anyway. After entering the first round, he told the young entrepreneur that he wanted to be more involved in the company, work part time, and get involved in the project. Pierre accepted, and Sasha, in exchange for the stake in Global's capital, joined the still fledgling delivery company. That's one of Oscar's greatest successes in life. I've seen similar cases, other entrepreneurs who, out of fear and not being generous, have missed the opportunity to sign good people, said Carlos Blanco, who was present at the conversation in Connector's offices. Globo started in Madrid, Barcelona, and Valencia, modestly and with very little budget, kind of like us over here. It had almost no delivery drivers, kind of like us over here. So they mostly used interns and young people. Well, we're going to do something a little different. Its business model was essentially tell us what you want and we'll bring it to you. Ours is a little bit different, and I won't talk about it. At the time, we all became delivery drivers because we couldn't keep up with the workload. I delivered, Oscar delivered, Sasha delivered. At peak times, we all went out to deliver whatever we could, said Dilmer Alvarado. Listen, let me tell you something. You have to literally be down to put in the work, like on that end, where it's like you have to literally be down to do the end part of the work that actually brings in the capital, even if you are the person who can kind of like conceptualize the operations and everything. Listen, if it's you and the dudes who helped you build it that's there to also do the shit, Guess what you got to do to show as a use case for investors? Somebody's gonna have to do the shit to show the numbers. So that may just very well be you. And I'm gonna raise my hand and say, guess who's done it before? Yeah, me. At the end of 2015 in November, they raised 2.26 million in their second round of financing. So they went from 100 and something rather $1 million to $2.26 million, in which they would use to launch Glovo in Italy. A few months earlier, they had merged with Just Bell, a competing startup from the anti-venture fund environment. Gerard Olivier and Miguel Vicente, investors in companies like Wallapop, never heard of them, business angels and founders of Anti, joined Global as co-presidents. Yes, baby. Go where? After I'm finished. Okay. We decided to merge because Oscar struck as a young person with extraordinary talent with his head on straight. Very mature, Vicente said. The first thing we did was to expand. In Italy, we bought Furino. And then, opening in France, we closed a new round of 5 million euro in the summer of 2016, Olivier recalled. Going international was a wise move, and we all agreed because otherwise we wouldn't have had the access to fundraising. Okay, this is another point we've always stressed on this channel is that what we have to do is be digital nomads, and what we have to do is create businesses that we can leverage in the global environment. Okay, micromobility, for example, is something that you can go anywhere with as long as there's 3G and above cellular data connection infrastructure, you're good to go. At the time, Global was not alone in the market. There were already Deliveroo. I've heard of them actually. Just Eat, going outside Spain, gave us another dimension. He added. Okay, I won't go. This is a pretty long article, and I have it. I have it linked in the description. So Um, this is basically just to cover how somebody who basically came from a simple, well, not a simple, but they came from a previous startup environment, took from the model, created their own, and then just grinded it out, and then look where they found themselves, right? And this is why we do what we do, because it's the same thing. We worked for one of the biggest startups in the game. So we know how it works top to bottom. It's all about analyzing the market and what is needed, particularly on the supply chain and logistics side of things. So let me do this here. All right, let's see who we got here. Yo, Mike, what up, man? Let me know if you can join. Here, let's do this. If you don't have it, I'll put it right here. And like I said, folks, I was trying to do this like early this morning. That's typically when we would traditionally do the Black Tech Talks. But when you have a flooded bathroom, yeah, it becomes an all day affair on a Saturday, right? Let's see here. Big Evel, you said so. Micro fulfillment centers hire people with cars and bikes to deliver too. Yes, that's exactly what they do. So what a micro fulfillment center will do is they will offload. Okay, there's Mike right there. They'll do is they'll offload, right? To a third party. Now that third party can have a commercial space where they hold the parcels, particularly. Oh, wait a minute. Where they hold the parcels for delivery, whether it be by car, by e-bike, what have you, right? And ideally, what you would want to do is actually split the deliveries up. So anything that is 1 to 3 miles, right? You want to have like e-bike, cargo bike doing those. anything from 3 to 5 miles out, have a car do it. That way the cars are being used more for what they need to be used for, and the bikes are knocking out everything that needs to be done on the last mile end, right? So to answer that question, yeah, they're doing it to do both. You said, and can we store our products at the fulfillment centers? Yep. That's where, what do they call it? Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, and then there's all these other companies that do it too. Yeah, there's all these other companies that do it. Beef. You know what? And actually, there's even actually more automated methods to do it. Right? Mike and I covered it on the last Black Business Talk. There's a sister who has this warm food locker, sort of IoT uh apparatus thing that where basically you can order food and then you go up to the locker and it's going to tell you which locker to go to and your food's in there and you just boop and you get it, right? Those things, those type of apparatus can also be doubled as like a virtual store or a dark store where somebody makes an order for something and it goes to a person who operates a dark store, and and basically that person will get an order that says, hey, pick this item up here and take it here, and that order is in one of these lockers, right? You just go right to it, get it out of there, and then take it, right? Now that order was placed in through the fulfillment center, right? See, so now what we're talking about is we're microizing, so to speak, the supply chain and logistics, right? So that micro fulfill or micro mobility is doing the bulk of the work, right? So we're offloading it from traditional transportation. Mike V,
Hey, what's going on, man?
what it do, man? What's going on?
I'm chilling, man. I just got in. So yeah, it's an interesting discussion. I mean, you and I have been having these discussions for the last few years, but you're, the articles are basically reaffirming everything that we have been saying. That this is a very growing industry
Yeah.
that we can actually get into, and the thing here isn't when we talk about tech, we're not just talking about, you fix the computer, you fix the iPhone or iPad or something like that. We're talking about the emerging aspects of fourth industrialization. And what you're pointing out in these articles is that there's a lot of viability here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, how do we get involved in this? I mean, you just read, was it
Glovo.
Glovo, what,
Yep.
$2 billion valuation right
And
off
dude,
of,
like the guy's origin is just like mine, dude.
yeah,
He was messing with Postmates and got an
mhm,
idea.
yeah. And they capitalize off of that idea.
Yep.
Right? And the sweat equity got him to where he is now. Um, and so that's kind of what we're talking about here. It's 2022. This is where the market is going. This is where you need to be keeping these things on your radar. And I think this, these articles are phenomenal. I think they're really hitting home in terms of the conversation we've been previously having before the
Man, dude,
pandemic.
yeah, because I had to go through those the text messages, dude, and these were the ones that I had to pull out that are key
Mm-hmm.
to what I wanted to cover here, right? I didn't want to get into like, the minutia of it, right? Because,
Mm-hmm.
I've had some exchanges here earlier in the week where people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm just like, okay, well, how about we look at this literally from sort of how we're going to be seeing this in our own communities and stuff going forward, right? We all seen the little rental scooters, yeah, the rideshare stuff and all that, but
Mm-hmm.
now we're going to start to see it in more of industrial functionality,
Mm-hmm.
right? I was literally on the phone with my partner, the e-bike shop partner that I have,
Mm-hmm.
about building out like bespoke mid-drive electric bikes, right? Like we have clients that are saying, hey, look, we need mid-drive bikes that crank out above 95 newton meters, right, of torque, right, to handle hills and all this other shit. So we're over here game planning on using a bespoke setup, right, that we can apply across different platforms: cargo bike, food delivery bike, messenger bike, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right, to fit this this emerging market, right? Because there's going to
Mhm.
be a need for it. I can't exactly see gas prices going down in the immediate future. I think it's going to continue to creep up. So I think what's going to happen here is business is going to look to pivot elsewhere. I'm going to stay out of the speculatory conversation about what gas price is going to do. But for me, I deal in EV, so I'm only concerned with how EV is coming into the fold,
Well,
and that's what these articles are covering.
yeah, and the thing here is companies going to try to one up each other in zero carbon emissions. We saw this with FedEx, UPS, all going out and making these big acquisitions of or acquiring these sort of electric vehicles, electric trucks, and stuff like that. Everyone's trying to reduce their carbon footprint, and so in that, micro transportation becomes that last mile delivery aspect, that fulfillment aspect. I think you mentioned it earlier that there was a sister who opened up a micro fulfillment center in partner with
That was the sister that you put me up on,
Yeah.
who had
Oh,
the hubs, the food lockers.
so that's one.
Yeah.
She has a startup running these food lockers that have an app to your phone and everything else. But um, there's another sister that was featured a few weeks ago, maybe last month, who had a micro fulfillment center that basically takes the load off of Amazon and basically takes over that aspect.
Yes. Yes,
So
they offload. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and so that's what's trending right now, right? So the United States is saying that they need at least 1 billion square feet for um, logistics space, that they're underserved in these areas. And so there's going to be a lot of fulfillment centers starting to open up. I mentioned to you before offline a company called GoPuff,
Hmm.
which does exactly that micro fulfillment aspect. So it takes over that retail space, turns into a dark store,
Yep.
and all you see is a line of cars outside waiting to pick up items all throughout the day, all throughout the night, continuously dropping off. And GoPuff, you kind of get the gist that the people who order this stuff kind of does a lot of cheaper.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Go Puff.
that's 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 where we at right now. Another company here locally was acquired, I think, by Amazon for about $1 billion or something like that, or $500 million. Drizzly, which is a
Wait. Which company?
Drizzly.
Drizzly. Yeah, yeah. I heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're a micro fulfillment for alcohol
Yeah, Drizzly. Yeah,
delivery.
yeah. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I've heard of them. Yeah.
yeah. And so that's what's going on right now. So the liquor store aspect of walking into a liquor store, those days are over.
Bro, that shit is over, dude. Like, look,
Yeah,
I just heard that a prospective ghost kitchen client that we're potentially might be working with got their liquor license. They can
right,
deliver alcohol.
right,
So there you go.
right.
Right?
That's where we are right now in the market. Everybody else is understanding this. But where do we fit in all of this, right? And so I think you're in the right direction, and really bringing up these articles and having this discussion tonight. But
Yeah.
when you get a chance, can you wrench up G Dizzle?
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me do it right now before I get in this article. Give me a second. Somebody said they use Drizzly. Ha, that's funny. All right, G Dizzle, he's wrenched up. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be a moonshot, right? You don't have to think about how to reinvent, the spaceship. We're talking about capitalizing on ideas that already pre-existing. But please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna cover this one right here, Mike. You sent this one to me. NVIDIA invests 10 million in Sidewalk robot delivery company Serve Robotics. Now, there's a company I would also have you guys check out called Coco Delivery. They're based out of Venice. Um, that was started by a former coworker of mine at Bird. So we're sort of like a fraternity of ex-Bird people that then spawned our own tech startups, right? So Coco Delivery, check them out. Chip making giant NVIDIA is investing 10 million in Uber spinout Serve Robotics. Funds. Oh, wait. Okay, let me get that right because I don't know. Sometimes TechCrunch be having typos. Chip making giant NVIDIA is investing 10 million in Uber spin out Serve Robotics. Funds what? Funds the startup with yeah, they screwed up. Once again, dude, TechCrunch. Y'all need to get like a better proofreader. Funds to start will used to further expand its sidewalk delivery robot service outside Los Angeles and San Francisco. The investment, NVIDIA's first in the sidewalk delivery space, is part of a long-term collaboration that will see the two companies work together toward advancing their own wheelhouses of robotic technology. NVIDIA's investment is rooted in a long-time partnership with Serve, using various technologies us, from dude, who the fuck is editing TechCrunch nowadays, bro?
I don't think it's anybody editing. I think the article is copied from somewhere else. I think they're just
Yeah,
I think it's just syndicated. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes like the TechCrunch, I'm like, what? Okay,
y-
from the
yeah.
edge to cloud-based technologies. Gerard Andrews, senior product marketing manager of robotics at NVIDIA, told TechCrunch, we're excited about is the prospect of working closely with Serve to push the limits of what is possible on last mile delivery platforms. Dude, so now we got NVIDIA literally trying to get involved in this, right? With a primary focus. So they're working through a company called Serve, right? To really kind of hone in on the last mile aspect of bot delivery. Serves robots, which the startup says are capable of operating in specific geofenced areas without a remote operator for safety. Now, for those of you all who know, um, currently with the Coco delivery bots and some of the other bot services that are going on in Los Angeles, they actually have a remote operator. So it's a person who literally is like sitting at a computer, right? And they kind of operate the bot from home, right? See, so there's that layer of human interaction with regards to the bot. NVIDIA is trying to remove you. So there you go. Without a remote operator for safety. Currently rely on NVIDIA's Jetson Edge AI platform, the hardware or compute module that sits inside the robot and powers the autonomous movement. The startup also plans to use NVIDIA's perception and mapping tools, which will help its robots understand where they are in the real world environment and where they need to go. Like most autonomous vehicle companies, Serve tests its models in simulation before they hit the roads, which, like testing in the real world, requires scores of data and photorealistic maps of cities. This is where like Google APIs and all that shit comes into play. For that, NVIDIA offers synthetic data generation tools for training perception modules. Offerings such Offerings such as these come under the suite of tools from NVIDIA, dubbed Isaac, that provide robotics developers with a range of software technologies from simulation to robotic fleet management. Now, Mike, um, I also covered the Omniverse, right, which is NVIDIA's uh, sort of own metaverse, right, which has its development suite within that metaverse,
Yeah.
right. See, so people can like develop like various types of metaverse assets, trees, homes, this, that, and put it on the marketplace for sale and all that kind of stuff, right? And then on this level here, they have this whole suite of tools from NVIDIA, this Isaac, right? Where they just provide like developers with a range of software technologies, right? So they're making this stuff available to the would-be developer. They're like NVIDIA is basically inviting you to use their shit to develop robots.
Yeah, because they need to, right? And that's, I mean,
Right.
how else would the technology advance
Exactly.
itself unless people actually use it? And so, omniverse, like metaverse, it's everyone's going to have their own quote unquote metaverse like thing, right?
Yep.
Microsoft picked up Activision a few weeks ago for
Yep.
about 80 billion bucks, and
Hmm.
so everyone is kind of trending in that direction. I think Disney World is working on their own. Disney's working on their own. Um, I know Barbados as a country, they're the first country in the world to actually have their embassy in the metaverse. So these are the sort of things that's
Wait, whoa. Back that up. You said Barbados has their embassy in the metaverse.
yeah, First country in the world. They did that last year.
Okay.
So for anybody who thinks that the metaverse is not a thing and it's not going to be something to be, it's not the next version of social media or the next version of the internet, you're kind of fooling yourself. NVIDIA doesn't put $10 million into a company.
Into a goddamn Sidewalk robot company, right?
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, this wasn't a thing. Today it is. A pandemic changed everything, right? And
It's
so
just like overnight, bro. Like, well, no, over 2020. 2020 was like a void year, and then all of a sudden, 2021, it was like we start talking about all this money flooding into this shit. Metaverse.
YouTube will go to the wayside at some point. You give YouTube about 2 or
It's gonna
3
get
more
swallowed.
years.
It's gonna get swallowed into. It's gonna get swallowed into some sort of media network venue that's like metaverse based. I would even dare say that they probably have their own designs for something.
Well, it's owned by Google, right? So
Right.
it's inevitable that, I mean, it makes a lot of money, but if you're Google, you're probably working on your own metaverse sort of platform.
Yeah, that's
So
what I'm thinking. Yeah.
eventually you would have to carry YouTube into that sphere of
Into it,
influence as well,
right?
right?
What
So
about like drive-in theaters, clubs, right? Movie theaters, shit like that, right?
right.
You
Well,
know.
that's yeah. But please finish the article, and when you get a
Okay.
chance,
Okay.
wrench
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
wrench up
We'll.
Ramil.
Okay. All right. Wait. Hold on. Is he in here?
Yeah, Ramil's in the chat.
Oh shit. Okay. Ramil, if you want to join, man, I think I posted the link. I'm not really sure. Let me here.
No, the link is in the chat.
Oh, it's in the chat. All right. Let me go back to the article. Let me finish it up.
Mhm.
Okay. NVIDIA hopes to use lessons from its partnership with Serve to improve its technology in the nascent robotic space, said Andrews. We see ourselves as a company that's leading with autonomy and scaling real autonomous robots out in the real world. Ali Kashani, co-founder and CEO of Serve, told TechCrunch, NVIDIA is one of the most critical companies to the robotic space as a whole, and they're also investing in the tools. So it just makes sense for us to work close together, given this is a developing space. And this is another thing that I was trying to just, quick sidebar. I was trying to like kind of communicate to people about this whole new venue where they talk about, whoa, racism and this and that. And I'm like, dude, that's not kind of how it works nowadays. In this new space, is basically like, if you know something, you know something, and everybody's trying to partner with the people who know the right things that they know in order to get a leg up on the competition. So we're in a new space. Get that shit out of your head. There are different approaches to commercialization within sidewalk delivery being trialed now. Companies like Coco, I just mentioned it. His name's Sheldon. I worked with him. Coco Delivery, that's them right there. Go to cocodelivery.com. That's them. Companies like Coco and until recently Tortoise have leveraged remote operators. What was I just telling you guys? Coco, they use remote operators to drive robots to destinations, giving them a quicker and easier path to market than aiming for full autonomy. Now, this is true. It's much easier when you go based on 1 mile routes from point of origin to delivery and back, right? It's a lot easier to just do it that way and have somebody just literally route them along a street path, right? Using bike lanes. It's very easy. But when you go for full autonomy where the bots are going to literally do it themselves and no one's overseeing it, that's the next level. Serve is choosing to go the technically challenging route to full self-driving from the get-go, which means it needs serious computing. It needs serious computing power to handle
No, that's
the
actually
process.
correct, Complex.
It needs serious compute power?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's actually the right term.
Compute power?
Yeah, because it's looking at it in the same way that you look at an engine with horsepower.
Yeah.
It's based, the term is basically the similar thing. So, but it is the
Okay.
right
No,
term.
I can see that. Okay. I don't know. It's like serious computing power, but okay, compute power. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you wouldn't say horsing power. You would say
horsing
horsepower,
power. No,
right?
that's what I mean.
You would say horsepower.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just being a damn word Nazi. The sidewalk is more chaotic than the street, said Kashani. We have even interacted with goats. Goats. The randomness of what you see on a sidewalk is an order of magnitude higher than the street. If you think about it, on the street, cars have a distinct set of actions. They change lanes, there's braking, accelerating. When you come to the sidewalk, anything can happen at any time, and you need to be ready for it. So, in an interesting way, it's actually more challenging. The advantage, of course, is that things happen slower and you have more time to react. This isn't the first strategic investment Serve has seen in recent months. In December, the company raised 13 million in an expanded seed round, bringing on investors that are poised to help the company on its path toward commercialization. Such delivery hero backed DX Ventures, 7-Eleven's corporate VC arm 7 Ventures, and Uber, which will be tapping Serve as a delivery service partner for Uber Eats. Fuck you guys. Why don't you I want tap me for a damn okay. All right.
Sounds about
That's
right.
that article right there. Sorry, man. When I do that, you guys understand, man. We're literally in the thick of this, and so when we read this stuff, it just gives us an indication that we're on the right path and that everything that we're talking about is on point, right? So when we look at the numbers, we see the money, we see what's floating around, we see the pathways, it's all there, right? And this is why we're having these conversations because, again, on Ramil's live stream, we were talking. I said, well, listen, he made a good point. He said, well, listen, the Fed prints money all the time. There's credit out there all the time. There's money out there. And I said, yes, you're absolutely right. The question is, where is it circulating? In these last couple of articles here, we've kind of honed in on where a lot of money is starting to funnel into.
Mm-hmm.
Those investment figures were not small figures.
No, they're not. And that's kind of the point that you and I have been trying to make on this channel and the Black Brain Trust as a whole. That you know, where there's will, there's a way. And so there's a lot of opportunity that's going to come out of this if you're really involved in this. And so you don't have to be an expert in everything. You just need to understand what it is that you're trying to do. And so can you articulate these points that um, robotics, microtransportation, AI, ML, AI, ML, machine learning, all these areas
Mhm.
are going to be very critical to, in order to make these vehicles move. I mean, the reason why they're trying to develop this is because there's a lot of smart cities that's starting to be developed now.
Mhm.
Rwanda, they're building out their smart city right now outside of Kigali, and then you start talking about I think in Las Vegas or outside of Vegas or something like that. Some guys built from Silicon Valley bought land in Nevada to build their own smart city.
Yeah, that's the in the same area where they do Burning Man and shit.
Yeah,
All that is this all these rich tech guys that do that crazy shit. Yep.
right, right. And so one of the first areas that they're going to try to leverage these autonomous robots is going to be on college campuses, because college campuses, especially Division I universities, tend to be massive in scale. And so, yeah, it makes a lot. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been up to like Harvard or any of some of these big Division I schools. These things are massive to walk around. And
Mhm.
so, having these autonomous robots float around and you know, uh, from dormitory to dormitory and whatnot, yeah, that takes a lot of walking and whatnot. So, if if I have a micro fulfillment center adjacent to a university on a college campus, I may look at 100 plus autonomous vehicles that can be put on the college campus. I don't have to worry about really the human factor. Somebody got robbed or packages
Right.
got knocked off. I'm losing merchandise. I'm losing assets and stuff like that. That gets minimized because it's all autonomous.
Right. And that's kind of where once again, we really want to try to like make sure we hone in the focus on the
Mhm.
opportunities within this, right? Because of just that. It's like, okay, well, to the point where we've got like colleges getting involved, we've got micro fulfillment centers, uh this is all going to grow into a part of the new supply chain, right? To basically fix the issues that we currently see now with the supply chain. That's why I was like, okay, when you look at inflationary costs, energy costs, all that type of stuff,
Mhm.
you have to logically assess, okay, what would be the alternative to fill in the gaps? Something that's low cost to operate, something that does not require a large expenditure in terms of energy to operate,
Mhm.
right? And something reliable, and a techno and a software to manage the logistics of it all.
Mhm.
That is your alternative. So now what we've been covering over these last few articles here is essentially all of these various companies, small and large. Okay, NVIDIA is a large company, and Glovo is a company that you probably have heard of for the first time. Both of them have a lot of money floating around.
$2 billion valuation.
Come on, come on, dude, come on.
Can't argue with that.
We can't argue with that shit. You really can't, dude. Let me check the chat here, and then we'll get to the next article. Let's see here.
If you get a chance to wrench up Ramil.
Ramil. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I took care of that here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Imperator. He said you were correct. Barbados is serious about the metaverse. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're leading the Pan African revolution right now. She was just in the Prime Minister Mia Motley was just in Ghana celebrating the 65th anniversary this week. So they're they are the cryptocurrency blockchain capital of the Caribbean right now. Um, they have something called BITT, which is their version of Coinbase.
Mm.
Basically, they're working on central bank digital currencies for other black countries. Um, they're basically trying to tie in this thing
They're
on
trying to
both.
tie him
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're moving in that direction of what we've been talking about. They on the ground. They're serious about that stuff over there, and they're black, right? And so this is where we are right now. And so when we engage people outside in the diaspora, we got to be able to say, this is what we're working on. This is what we know.
Right. We have to be able to, like you
Mhm.
said, man. When we pull up in that meeting, man, briefcase and a
Mhm.
portfolio of businesses, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's see here. Giogami says that he said that's something Black nations people should be more often consider as economical and professional pathways, as they don't require as much raw materials as other industries. Okay, yeah. So Richard said the brothers on the continent damn sure don't mind getting all this investment money. Yeah, they don't. They don't, bro. They don't mind at all. Let's see here. Let's see here. Shauna says I can see them implementing that at the University of Texas in Austin or Texas A&M here in the Lone Star
Mhm.
State. Yeah, Sean. I mean, that's the thing. Where you're seeing a lot of this. Well, honestly, you're seeing the use cases really starting to pop into play
Mhm.
everywhere, depending on the environment. See, what you're starting to have here is that people that, in some capacity or another, worked in micromobility, worked in the space, in the locations that they are, and then what they're looking to do is they're looking around, they're saying, okay, you know what? No one's doing this here,
Mhm.
and they're becoming the first people to roll it out and launch it in their communities or in their proximity, right? And they better know they know the market better than anyone else because they understand the technology and they understand the application, the use of it. And what they do is they tailor it to the environment. So we're in that space now where literally it's still green for entrepreneurs. That's why this live stream was also going to cover jobs, careers, and opportunities and stuff, right? So we'll do some business model. We're going to pull up a few companies. We're going to go through their job postings.
And you're also taking into consideration that autonomous vehicles are today where Netscape was in 1994, 1995.
Yep.
I mean,
We ain't seen shit yet.
it was clunky, it was slow. I mean, you can get on the internet, but it was the early incarnations of it. Now, I mean, yeah, these little autonomous robots, they deliver things and they move at 5 miles an hour, 2.5 miles an hour. But that's because the infrastructure hasn't really caught up with the technology itself, right? I mean, you still have cracks in the sidewalk, you have misaligned sewer holes and sewer hatches and manhole covers and things like that. Once, I mean, that's really the disruptor, right? The lack of investment in infrastructure can't keep up with the technological advances. So to have something move that slow is not because of the technology sucks. It's because the infrastructure sucks, really.
Yep.
Right? I mean, if you have um, Firefox back in 2000, the internet, the browser wasn't slow. The internet was slow. You didn't have fast, high speed internet. You had
Yeah, I mean, like as
you know,
far as the browser, I mean, how would you know the browser was slow, right? If you were
because
on
it
90,
rendered slow. It rendered slow, right? I mean, you went to a website, it had a lot of plugins and stuff like that, and it didn't give you that fast, what you get today, that instant gratification.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, what were we on, like 96K baud? Is that what it was?
I mean, back then, I think if you were a heavy hitter, you had ISDN, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You had some kind of business internet service in order to
yeah,
get high speed internet service. After
yeah.
the dot
ISD
com
for
burst,
those of y'all
yeah,
that don't know, ISDN was the precursor to um, what was it? It was ISDN because you had what was it, man? You had two different types of high speed internet.
you had
It was like you had DSL.
well, DSL came after ISDN.
That's what I'm saying. ISDN was the precursor,
Yeah,
right? So you had
yeah,
baud, you had the baud rate modem, then you had ISDN, then you had DSL, and then you had what, cable?
yeah, yeah.
That's what it was, cable, right?
Coax, yeah, you had coax.
Coax, right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's do this, dude. I'm gonna get into this next article here. Zooks, acquihires team from robotics strawberry picking startup Strio.ai. Wow. Okay. So for those of y'all who don't know, Zooks is actually it's basically an autonomous vehicle company that was started by like this sister from South Africa and I think one other guy. And then Bezos bought them out. So for y'all that just to kind of give you guys like a composite of what we're talking about here. Like in terms of Zooks as a company, yeah, like that's a company that does involve some melanated folk, right? So once again, this is one of those situations where it's like this isn't pie in the sky shit that we're talking here. We're talking technology, business, and industry that people like us are in, and we invite you all to really come aboard because this is the wave. Amazon-owned robo-taxi firm Zoox this week announced that it has acquired Strio.ai. The Boston-based robotic startup was founded in 2020 by MIT alums to bring autonomous picking and pruning to strawberry crops. It got up and running quickly during the pandemic, bringing the first prototype systems to farms in California and Florida within about 6 months. The acquisition is more of an acqui-hire, really. Strio co-founder and CEO Ruji He, Ruji He, joins Zoox as director of perception. Director of perception? Mike, have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, what about them?
What is that? I've never heard of that. What is it? If you get hired as director of perception, what does that mean? I've never heard of that.
You're basically a chief futures officer, basically like a visionary.
Oh, what was that guy? David Kling. Remember, he was like what they call AOL digital prophet, like that.
Yeah, something like him, or
Something like that.
or like the guy who's running Macy's right now, the brother who is reinventing Macy's. He is the chief future officer. He's the reason why Macy's has survived during the pandemic. He
No
reinvented the
shit.
company from the bottom up to be a tech company first rather than a retail company.
Than a
So
retail.
he,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
That's what's up. Okay.
yeah.
He joins Zoox as director of perception, while 4 of his senior engineers will be integrated into the team. The move also finds the Bay Area-based Zoox opening its first East Coast R&D site with the Strio team. Damn, bro, that's going to be in Boston. During our conversations with RJ and other members of the Strio.ai team, we were continually impressed by their technical expertise, entrepreneurial spirit, and the approach to developing state-of-the-art perception systems. Okay, that's why he's director of perception. They have a whole perception systems. Zook said in a blog post, "We are thrilled to welcome them aboard as we continue advancing our autonomous technology." The acquisition means that Strio will be winding down its ag tech work, instead integrating their work into things like perception into Zoox's broader robotaxi plans. I need to look into what this. They say perception.
So I think they're using the term
What
specific. I think they're using the term
yeah.
specifically for a technology that they develop, maybe with lidar or
Yeah.
something. But
Yeah.
typically that term or that position is usually a futures officer.
Yeah. That's why I'm really trying to hone in on
Mhm.
when they met, because I think that's a new term I need to look into, right? For fourth industrialization, right? Perception, because that like I said, that reminds me of that David Kling guy from AOL, right? They
Mhm.
called him like they called him the AOL digital prophet. He was like their visionary type, right?
Mhm.
The dude who sort of espouses sort of like future application of the technologies, right? But I think what they did was they've kind of brought it down more from that whole sort of digital prophet moniker to something more applicable, right?
Mhm.
Like officer of perception. That's why I'm like, okay, that sounds more like something that you guys have really kind of like put together as a position for the company.
Well, it comes out. It comes out of robotics and autonomy, right? And you
Okay.
don't really see those sort of roles anywhere outside of that. But
Right.
the
Right.
term is interchangeable with different roles outside of the company too.
Like research and development, right? That could
Yeah,
be in a traditional sense, right? R and like if you worked in an R&D, or you know what, skunk works.
yeah. I mean, just like some companies will have a CIO and not a CISO, and then some companies have a CISO and they don't have a CIO.
Right. Right.
It's just who's responsible.
Who's
So
okay? Got it.
yeah, yeah.
The move comes a few weeks after Bowery Farming acquired Traptics strawberry picking robots for integration into its indoor vertical farms. Bro, we keep referencing the gorilla farming live stream. If we have a mod in the chat who can pull that live stream up, I think it's episode 311. I'm not 100%
Mm-hmm.
certain, but just type in Black Brain Trust Gorilla Farming. And if you could post that, that'd be awesome. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what we covered right there. Indoor vertical farms. Like like the Zoox move, Bowery's acquisition effectively took Troptics robots out of the field. Conventional wisdom holds that there's a lot of opportunity for autonomous robotics in ag tech, but many of the main players in the category have had difficulty making it too far down that road. Abundance apple picking robots are another key example. Though the robotics category in general Though for the robotics category in general, acquisition is often a solid outcome, particularly for a young company like Strio. For Zoox, meanwhile, it means access to more talent and a presence in the robotics research hub of Boston. Mike, where you are.
Yeah, it's only up the street from me. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too far away from which we call it iRobot and
Boston
uh,
Dynamics.
yeah, Boston Dynamics. They're all in the same kind of cluster. So
Okay.
same thing with Kiva Systems. Amazon acquired them. So, the robots that move all of the items inside the Amazon warehouse.
Yep.
That's Kiva.
Mm-hmm. There's one about 20 miles down the road. We're talking like a main hub, right? A real huge Amazon warehouse where they have that
No.
shit. And then if you come up to where I'm at in the city, we
Mm-hmm.
have an Amazon last mile hub. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm trying to grab one of those last mile contracts, right?
Mm-hmm.
To do some use case and some piloting. So everything that we're covering falls in line with what we're discussing right now. And I'm just going to go through here. Let's see. Andy said, shout out to Mike V, who predicted the war between Russia and Europe about 2 years ago.
Hate to say it, but told you so.
Oh, score another one for the Black Brain Trust.
We told you so.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe it's like trying to build the perception around the company to be accepted socially. No, we're talking about perception in terms of like,
The technology.
yeah, projecting a company's technology into the future, right? For acceptance and adaptation amongst the user class. Like you have to kind of be in the social media space.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I saw AOL was using this guy David Kling. They called him the AOL digital prophet, and he literally was out here saying that a lot of the shit that you see today would be commonplace. But this was back in like maybe like the mid 2000s, Mike. You
Mm-hmm.
saw that dude David Kling around.
Yeah, but somebody in the chat actually put the definition there, channel zero.
What is it? Okay, let me see
Yeah.
here. Okay, I see it right here. Okay. I'm scrolling down. What is perception in AI? Perception is artificial intelligence. Okay, is the process of interpreting vision, sound, smell, and touch. Perception helps build machines or robot. Okay, boom. There we go. Now we know what that guy what his role is. Okay, channel
Yeah.
zero. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, because that term gets used, it gets different terms generically get used for proprietary things that in the tech industry that typically doesn't get used outside of it. And so I interpret the term differently than how they're defining it, but it makes a lot of sense now. So
Okay.
yeah.
And I appreciate Devin Liggins. He just posted the link, episode 278. So we were a few episodes off.
Yeah.
Guerrilla farming and legalization of cannabis. That's the one right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to jump on this next article here. Ford sells e-scooter division to SoftBank-backed European rival. Wow, Ford, you got up out the game, huh? Damn. Ford Motor Company is selling its e-scooter business Spin to German rival Tier in exchange for equity. Now, Mike, we've been putting this out here. The big automotive companies have had stake in this shit the whole time. Ford was in micromobility, right? So we're going to get into what this whole sort of exchange was about because it's an equity-based exchange. However, just so y'all know, one of your biggest, most storied American automotive manufacturers had a company called Spin, who was a competitor to the startup that I worked for. Yes, Ford was in the game. Let's talk about it. The U.S. car maker said in a statement that the merger will provide the scale that's desperately needed in the competitive micromobility sector. Uh-oh. Let's see. What are we talking about here? The deal comes after Tier acquired German bike sharing platform Nextbike in November and Vento Mobility, the Italian subsidiary of Wind Mobility, in December. Okay, do y'all see what's going on here? It's all these companies that y'all don't know about. People like us, for example. This is what's out here, y'all. We talking about it, right? This is Ford in the mix here. Lawrence Luschner CEO of Tier, told CNBC that the company is now the largest multimodal micromobility operator in the world in terms of number of cities and vehicles, ahead of U.S. rivals like Bird and Lime. Mike, you got something to put in on this, dude, before I keep going?
No, please continue.
All right. Tier claims to have a fleet of 250,000 vehicles across 410 cities. Roughly half of its vehicles are e-scooters and half e-bikes. So they got a 50-50 ratio. About 125,000 scooters, 125,000 e-bikes. We are pleased to remain in the mix as a strategic investor in Tier and look forward to their continued growth. Frank Louis Victor, VP of New Business for Ford Motor Company, said in a statement. With the purchase of Spin, Berlin headquartered Tier plans to expand into North America and increase its vehicles to 300,000. Its global footprint is expected to expand to more than 500 cities across roughly 20 countries. So, what this is telling me here, and it says it right here, Spin, 100% subsidiary of Ford, has around 70 licenses to operate its vehicles across the United States. So here's what Ford did.
Mhm.
Ford basically offloaded their micromobility to this company Tier while keeping a vested interest in it. Do you have any opinions on that, Mike?
Ford wants to be um, kind of like they're kind of taking the role of being like a license holder or a patent holder
Yes. Yes.
for the EV market. That's where
Yes.
they see themselves maybe 10 to 15 years from now, that they're not going to be in cars anymore. That and Tesla is kind of looking at the same thing, right? Tesla, Elon Musk kind of confused as to where the company is going to be going, but Tesla is kind of moving in that same direction, right? Tesla's goal, overarching wise, is to have this sort of generic platform that every other brand can borrow from and just put their label on it, and then Tesla just sells the generic platform, and everybody else just puts their label on it, and then call it a day.
Right.
That's
And
kind of what Tesla wants to do, and this is kind of what Ford wants to do. We have a lot of EV patents, but we're not going to be in the business of making EVs.
right. And you know what? It may actually kind of be a smart move.
IBM does it, right? IBM makes a lot of
Yeah.
patents, and they sell
Yeah.
the technology off to different
Yeah.
companies or license it out, right? The
And
ATM
then
machine was made by IBM. A lot of people don't know that.
hmm and then what happens if it really starts to blow and then Ford comes back, right? And just says, you know what, we're just gonna buy you guys outright because now it makes more sense for us to acquire you, right? So this is a bit of a shrewd, smart move
They
on
minimize their footprint from a manufacturing standpoint and move all the way back to just having offices
right.
that engage in design and whatnot, right? And so they don't have to manufacture anything. They can sell that aspect off. The manufacturing facilities right now have value because they need to build and they need to scale, because
hmm
micro transportation works off of scale. You can't just have like 20 scooters here
Yeah,
and
yeah,
20.
you know,
No,
yeah, yeah,
no,
no,
you
no,
need at least
yeah,
going into this, you need at least 10,000 going into this, because
right,
your asset loss is going to be around 10% anyways.
right, right. Yeah, you got to deal with like, yeah, theft and motherfuckers taking scooters and throwing them into
It,
pools of
it,
water and shit
it
like
just
that.
fails. Batteries are bad.
Batteries,
Yeah,
you already know. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
right. So
Okay. We believe that the U.S. market is not only the biggest market in micromobility globally. Okay. So something else for y'all to take note that's listening. At the end of the day, even though we're talking about European companies, guess who they all believe is the biggest market? The U.S. Not only the biggest market in micromobility globally, but we also think there's going to be a massive rebound after COVID. Uh-oh. I think we're kind of see that with reduced restrictions that are literally starting to happen as we move into the spring and the summer, right? We're seeing restrictions lifted even in Canada after the whole trucker convoy and all that kind of stuff, right? I think as of I forgot which date it is, There's the mask mandate in Canada's removed and all that other stuff, right? Not getting into the politics and all that. It just speaks to what's being said right here. But we also think there's going to be a massive rebound after COVID, right? After COVID, okay? Lushner said U.S. President Joe Biden's new infrastructure plan and the desire from U.S. cities to go green will help make the U.S. market really attractive in the future for micromobility companies. Tier has raised a total of 660 million. Dude, like, okay, these numbers I keep throwing around are astra fucking nomical. 660 million from the likes of Goldman Sachs and SoftBank. Investors valued the business at 2 billion in October when it raised a Series D round. Asked if Tier needs more funding, Lushner said the company will look to raise capital again if it continues on its current growth trajectory. There's no IPO plans there's no IPO plans right now, he said. And you got to understand something. Oftentimes, depending on how you get going in this sector, you may not necessarily need one. It really just depends. The sale of spin comes amid a period of consolidation in the so-called micromobility industry. I don't know why they said so-called, which tends to include electric bikes and scooters, where many companies are yet to turn a profit, depending on how you're set up. The sale of spin comes amid a period of consolidation in the wait. Oh yeah, I read that part. Lucian said there is a fair chance Tier will be profitable next year on an EBITDA basis. EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. This is true. There's a lot of factors to consider. He declined to say how much the company made in revenue last year.
You see, I have a problem with that last part of the article where they make it sound like, well, they haven't really posted any profit. Well, Facebook didn't turn any profit for 10 years, and no one said anything about Facebook being
A lot of
a
companies don't turn
zombie,
profits for a long time.
because the business model requires scale. And if they can't scale during the pandemic, they can't turn profit. It's not that difficult. And then you have these sort of anti, EV and anti micro transportation people who want to file lawsuits and injunctions against micromobility companies for um, American Disabilities Act, where they say, oh, well, these scooters are just left on the ground, and and what about a person who's
What
walking
about
with
a
it,
person who can't use them?
right? And now they have to fight that in court, and the idea is to drag these people through court and drain their resources. That's why a lot of companies can't turn profit, is because they have all of these sort of bureaucratic issues and red tape in their way that prevents them from scaling. And so scale is the most important factor here as to how a company is going to turn profit. But if you have people who are anti, change, right? Because either they don't want you charging your vehicle because they're icing Tesla's supercharger stations, or these micro transportation vehicles, these scooters and these e-bikes, they just hate seeing the sight of these vehicles because it may cut into their profit. These cab drivers with their medallions and whatnot, who paid probably their
Yeah,
whole
those
life
medallions,
savings into
right?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, you guys, you should probably have helmets, right? And then now you have to fight this out in court. But in reality, that's going to happen anyways. But they're throwing as many obstacles as possible at this sort of sector to keep it from actually rising to prominence. And so these are the sort of challenges that happens. And so when you see an article that leaves that last tidbit in there, says, oh, they haven't posted any revenue. Well, how the hell are they supposed to post revenue if it's a lockdown and you're in the pandemic?
Yeah. You know, I mean that's where this is all burgeoning market. That's where I'm like, okay, well, depending on how savvy you are with regards to the technology and how this stuff works,
Mhm,
this is a very green landscape. This is why I want to try to have these deep dives. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Mike, I'm gonna do this. If you can hold it down for a few minutes, bro, I'm just gonna holler at my little shorty, see what she needs, use
Oh,
the restroom. And then what I wanted to do is I'm gonna go to like Spin and Bird and a couple other companies. We're gonna like just go through their job postings.
well, I wanted to actually
Oh, what's up? What's up?
I actually wanted you to share the screen for KIGT.
Oh, send it. Put it in the back chat, and then
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
pull it up.
yeah.
All right, and then I'm gonna go step off for just a few minutes.
Yep.
All right, hold up. All right, let me check the. And for those of y'all that are listening in, welcome. Good Saturday evening. Hope you guys are enjoying this conversation here. Let me just go back through while Mike grabs that link and sends it to me so I can pull it up. I'm going to go through the comments and then I'm going to step away for a couple minutes, maybe like three to 4 minutes. Let's see here.
Well,
Okay.
maybe I'll just share my screen.
Can you share it? Can you
Yeah,
do it?
I don't know if you give me permission or not.
Yeah, you should. Or just throw it in the private chat. I'll throw it up. Or wait. No. You should be able to share it. Let me see here. Yeah, dude, you should be able to share the shit. Yeah?
All right, let me do it now.
All right.
Share screen.
Yeah or no?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there it is. Boom. Y'all see it? There you go. You got it,
All right.
Mike?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, hold on. Is the music still playing?
Which music?
I have music playing in the background this whole time. You hear it?
No, I haven't heard anything.
Really?
No.
No shit. Okay.
All right.
This whole live stream may not have had music on it, which sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
Then go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me just introduce this while you step away, and then
Okay. All right, go ahead, bro.
I'll
I'm gonna
play the
step away.
clip.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So KIGT is a new Black startup that is focusing on EV charging, and so I talked about this a few weeks ago with Complex about Black people getting into the EV charging sector and the whole EV aspect. I mean, he's been very hands-on in the EV sector himself in the microtransport part. But you have this brother here out of California, Paul Francis, who has a startup for EV chargers called KIGT. And so we wanted to feature this on here just so that people can get an idea as to how many Black people are actually getting in the sector now, because we have been talking about this, but we haven't been able to really have a deep dive into some of these other factors of these other people who are playing a critical role in the emerging aspect of the in the emerging aspect of all of the EV sector. So I wanted to play this clip real quick while Complex steps away.
Janice just pointed out she could charge her car at her house. I was like, there's a Black man doing chargers out in the streets. He's got to be on the Carrot Hunter show. So first of all, tell me how you got into the charging business and where can we get your charger?
Well, I've been in the game since 2010. You see, the original founders of Tesla had a separate company here in Southern California that brought me into the business. We're working with cities and the ports, making your electric car power the building. So that's how I got in and stayed in. So we manufacture in California. We just opened up an office in Brooklyn. You can buy our chargers or online or through one of our resellers.
Now, how is your charger? So say I have any kind of electric car that's not a Tesla, or can I charge a Tesla on your charger?
We're the charger company of the people. You see, Tesla made them for Tesla drivers. So for us, we decided that it needs to be equitable. So everyone gets to plug in with KIGT.
KIGT, KIGT. Where'd you come up with this name, Paul?
It just flowed because every great company has that 2-syllable thing going: Apple, Google, Facebook. And so we were Keep It Green Transit. Then we made that pivot to being a hardware manufacturer. So we were Keep It Green Tech, but those were taken on the URL. So we made up a word called KIGT, and it kind of stuck. So we Keep It Green Transit, Keep It Green Tech, Keep It Green Team.
KIGT. All right. And you have, I'm just looking at 220 volt level chargers. You have chargers for just about everything. And it's sexy. It's a sexy charger.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, the thing I was thinking about, electric cars are classist, meaning, people have to have a garage and you have to have a little coin maybe to be able to access these things, to have the convenience of having it at home. You have to have some money. Talk a little bit about the equity that KIGT provides for people all over, no matter what your economic status is.
Yeah, it's huge, right? We're expecting millions of more people to drive EVs, yet 70% of people drive pre-owned cars, and the EV market isn't flooded with affordability. And a lot of people, especially in California, rent. So one thing we've worked with are low-income family developers where we put them inside the home and they get to charge for free. Some projects we have in Oakland and San Jose area where they're going to put an electric car for rent on demand so that the people in that housing community can rent it to go buy groceries, even do ride share. So for us, our projects with the churches down in South LA and Hollywood, one of these projects we have here in Ontario in our backyard in a disadvantaged community, legislation that people may know them as opportunity zones. We figure we put them where the people are at. We let people charge for free through our software. And that way it enables more people to charge and be part of this.
Paul Francis is here, CEO, co-founder of KIGT, which is an e-charger. You can go to KIGTinc.com, KIGT Inc.com, check out the products. You have a home mini e-charger. What is this? How does it work? Talk to me about it.
Yeah. Okay, Karen, let me ask you, if you had a gas pump at your house, would you ever go to the gas station?
Hell no. But I live in Jersey, so the gas station in Jersey is not a problem because they pump my gas. I don't have to get out. So I just, I slide my money through a very cracked window and then they pump my gas. I tell them I do cash, so I don't get any change back, keep the change. So I'm not touching anything because I'm germaphobe even before the pandemic. Like, don't touch, so I calculate how much gas I need and then I bring the exact change. But yeah, I would rather not go.
Nobody wants to go. I've been through Jersey. We were in Atlantic City this year, and that was my first time kind of seeing someone take the handle and not social distance at the pump. So having a charger at home, it's a convenience, right? Because imagine every morning you wake up, you have a full tank, right? And then when you leave the office, you still have a full tank. Then after happy hour, the charger's there, you have a full tank. And then when you get home at night, that car actually helps provide the power for your house or for your apartment building.
All right, please wait, pause there. Paul, pause. How does it revert? So I've seen cars that charge inside and out. Mm-hmm. So you're telling me your charger, after my vehicle is fully charged, can then provide electricity. So there's a power outage in my area. My charged car can provide electricity to my home?
It can. So let me take a step back, but bring it to something more. So remember when Texas had that Arctic blast weather storm last year? Mm-hmm. There was a gentleman who powered his home with his truck. We powered a third of a city's parking lot lights with one electric car 10 years ago. So one thing has to happen. The automotive companies are now, the new cars coming out like Ford and GM, Nissan, they have that capability.
Hyundai, the Ionic is a two-way.
I don't know. I don't want to speak.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Hyundai Ionic, I know they're advertising. It's a two-way charger. You can charge on the inside and out.
Well, then see, we're trying to get with one of them. Hyundai, if you're out there, we submitted our project to you 2 months ago for your award contest. Let us know. We got a grant to actually do this from the state of California with University of California, Riverside. So yeah, the car will power your home.
UCR.
So when you get home, you can schedule the charging session, right? I don't want to charge when electricity costs the most. I want my car to power my house. And then when electricity is cheap, I'll press the button on the KIGT charger. That we're the first home touchscreen charger. So you have that Nest feel. So you can get the basic one. But if you want all the smarts and intelligence and not have to download another app, you get the Smart Mini. There's no additional electrical costs. You can do the scheduling, and we have a rewards program where you can earn money from actually charging your car.
And that's all $700. Boom. $700, you can have a charger in your home.
$700 for the Mini, and then $999 for the Smart Mini.
This is amazing. Tell me about the business, Paul. Everybody's going green. Electric is the wave of the future. I feel like everybody's going to have an electric car in the next 10 years, and it should, because we should reduce our carbon footprint. How did you get into this business, Paul? What's your background?
Business, entrepreneur. I was in transportation right after the recession. My daughter was born in 2008 on my birthday. She'll be 14 this month. But when the recession happened, I looked around and friends of mine were all competing for the same jobs with the same degree. And I learned at that moment, you got to pick something that's recession or even pandemic proof. And regardless, people need to move their butts. That's mobility. And people need to turn the lights on. That's power and energy. And I'm third generation energy, my grandfather, my mother. And so we started this business to blend both. When we decided to be the only African-American manufacturer of chargers that's utility approved about 8 years ago, that's when we said, we need to make a charger that's for everyone, make our own software, our own proprietary technology, and let's see what we can do with the business and grow it.
Now, if I'm in an apartment, Paul Francis is here. You can follow him at I am Paul Francis. I think that's on IG. I am Paul Francis on IG, and you can follow KIGT Inc. on Twitter and KIGTinc.com. I live in an apartment. Can I buy one of these minis and install it in my apartment or somewhere in the parking lot of my apartment?
I'm sure you can, because you're Karen Hunter.
Huh.
You have that influence and you know how to speak to people.
No, I will just do it. I won't ask permission. I'm just going to put that jar up somewhere and there's somebody that asks me, what is this? That's what I would do. I'm not going to ask permission. But
suffer the consequences later. No, so one thing, issues, it's still real estate. You need parking spaces. So the property managers, these owners of apartment complexes are real estate guys. And so one thing we do, we have a program called KIGT Cares. So we go and speak to them. We speak to the property manager. We explain to them how we can actually pay for the chargers, pay for 10 or 20 of them in the complex, reduce his cost of investment, make it where it doesn't cost him anything. And that way we're able to provide the amenity for you. We have a couple multifamily projects. We're doing that out here. That's why we moved to New York, to try to get some going in all the boroughs.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I mean, because there's a lot of cities like New York, there's Philly, Chicago. There's places, and I think for us, we don't all live in a home with a garage. And it's a little elitist. It's like I have a garage and my car is being, and it's not that you're rich, but not everybody has a house with a garage, and it's important that everyone has access to this because it is the future.
It has to be equitable. The most important part are the jobs, blue collar, green collar jobs. Because every time I put a charger in the ground, I need a construction crew. I need an electric. So I hire local. Our engineers are Black. My software engineers are Latinx. Our whole team is diverse, and we understand when we go put our chargers up in South LA, we're working with 501c3 on that project there to provide more equitable charging down there in the Crenshaw area in Watts. We hire local electricians and other brothers and sisters from the church, from the local area to actually install these. So not only are we saying bring more chargers, we want the community to have investment behind it so that they have ownership stake. They feel like they were a part of it. And let's put these chargers on light posts. Parking is scarce too in San Francisco and Los Angeles, like New York. So it's just a matter of creative thinking and folks like you and the tenants and everyone getting together and figuring out how to make it happen.
Boom.
Yep. That's it. That's it right there, bro.
Yeah. So
that's it.
That's where we're at right now. He hires Black electricians. He has a diverse team building out the software. He's all about the people. We've been talking about this on the Black Brain Trust about micro transportation, electric vehicles.
We ain't the only ones, bro. Like, I'm glad you provided that drop, because there's a thought or a notion that we're just these dudes that are just talking this crazy techno babble shit, right?
You expert.
But we just had two Black folks right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
One interviewing the other, right, about what it is that he's actually doing in this space right now at this moment, and who he is, who he has working with him.
No suit and tie.
There's a T-shirt with like hyping his company, bro.
Yeah, we talking about you expert. You're expert on 20 things, aren't you? Snob, expert.
You know it all.
Yeah.
You person who
Contrarian.
knows what you do for a
Yeah.
living.
Contrarian.
You skilled person. You.
This is exactly, I mean, this brother started in the game quite some time ago, but he's in the right section, in the right sector, and moving in the right trajectory of where the market is going. He understands that to be the supply chain aspect of it, providing the charges. He's not responsible for the vehicle. He's providing the infrastructure, a piece of infrastructure that's critical. You have people who are here saying, you know, you guys are just talking buzzwords and babble and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just the sort of thing that we've been talking about. People laugh at Complex. Oh, Complex, you're just riding around on micro machines, and what are you really talking about, right? Oh, well, all right. What about this brother?
What's he doing? What's he doing? Right? And that was his sister interviewing him, right?
Karen Hunter.
And she even knew of the Hyundai Iconic, the electric vehicle.
Ionic.
And he wasn't even sure. She was like, "No, it's two-way."
Yeah.
She knew her shit too.
Yeah.
So she knew her shit. He knew his shit. We know our shit. What's the problem here?
We haven't even, it's not on the docket tonight, but we haven't even dug into what some of those guys in Africa are doing right now, turning their bus alcoves in Kenya into EV charging hubs for micro transportation in cell phones and smartphones and things of that nature, using solar panels.
Talking about the umbrella joints, right?
No, this is the bus alcove. Not that was on the college campus where people could sit outside on the greens and use their laptops and tablets and stuff.
Right.
But this other one, I haven't sent it to you. Maybe I did send it to you. They are taking over the bus alcoves and putting solar panels on them and plugging chargers on them so that people who are there can actually charge their cell phone or charge their tablet or their EV scooters or something like that. It's a part of that civil infrastructure, micro infrastructure that happens for street furniture and whatnot. And so he's moving in the right direction. We're talking, I mean, if you covered all these articles tonight, $2 billion valuations for micro transportation companies, $600 million in investment into Series D funding. What are we really talking about here?
I mean, just like I told Ramil, I said, all you got to do is look at where all the, he said, well, new money is being printed, every day. And I said, yeah, you're absolutely right. And what you need to do then is look at where it goes after it's printed. And in these articles, we saw how much money is flowing into this sector. It's not minuscule. It's not a small amount. Right? Everybody is looking at this and just saying, hey, you know what? In the long term, this is what's going to solve the problem. You got to understand, once this becomes commonplace as something that serves that serves a purpose, there's not going to be something where, okay, unless it's a replacement to it that's more efficient, it's not going to be replaced. You don't go back to something, especially when you have no indicator that energy costs are going to come down anytime soon. We're talking about plugins. We're not talking about vehicles that run on the energy source that is literally increasing in price right now. We're not talking about that. We're talking about literally something you plug in for a couple hours, and the next thing you know, you got 30 to 50 miles on that thing.
No, this is the future, right? This is where society is moving into. One of the articles you read said, the Europeans are tapping into the American market. But why shouldn't we get involved in this? Paul, Paul, who was just featured in that interview, he's the only he's the only one who's developing EV chargers in terms of African Americans or Black, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where we are right now. That he's at the forefront of an emerging market, and so that's where you want to be at.
All right, let's look at some jobs, right? Let's look at some jobs in this sector, dude. Because one of the things that I also wanted to kind of highlight to people here is sort of like what is involved in this, right? Because like when we talk micromobility, we talk all these things, people think it's like this shit that's just sort of like over the head, right? And I'm just like, no, we're just in a new space where there were jobs that we used to look at and we thought they were normal, and those jobs actually apply to this new space. It's just that you're not familiarized with this new space. So I wanted to kind of just comb through some of like say like spins jobs, for example, right? Things like electric scooter delivery driver,
The
right?
music,
15.
is a little bit overbearing
Oh,
for you, for your
oh
voice.
shit. Wait. Hold on. Let me figure this out. Sorry about that. Because I think what happened was I did the screen share thing over to you, and then I just had some stuff playing, and then it ended up popping on when I went back to the screen share. Okay. Is everything cool now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. All right. So we're looking at electric scooter delivery driver, right? So all you are is you're getting paid to just pick up and drop off scooters, right? 15.25 an hour. And I mean, I don't know. This is in North Carolina. Now, 15.25, that's something, in California, that's kind of hard to get by on. However, that's not what this rate is for North Carolina. So I don't live in North Carolina, but just to be a person that drives around in a van that picks up and drops off scooters, I don't know. Let's see here. We've got warehouse technician. We've got, okay, repair technician. Let's see. Let's scroll down a little bit more because these are all like the same positions, but these are in different states, right? So these are just the different rates for these positions. But I'm trying to find some of the other ones, right? See, so Santa Monica, obviously. So here you're going to get paid more, but 17.50 in Santa Monica, that's still like, you know, okay, $20.50 an hour for the same position in Portland. So in Portland, Oregon, they're paying you more for this position than they are in Santa Monica. Okay, wow. Warehouse technician. Let's see what some of the requirements are. Must have 2 years experience leading a team. Okay, that's very nondescript, right? You could be at a fast food restaurant. You could have just been like a shift manager. 2 years experience repairing scooters or other vehicles or equipment. So that could be anything. You could have been at a fast food restaurant. You had to fix like the damn fry machine and the machine that makes the shake or whatever, while you have the 2 years experience being a team lead there. Proven familiarity with a broad range of commonly used tools, electronics, and computers. So pretty much everybody's used a Linux computer at this point, i.e., a Google device or Android, right? Or a Chromebook, for example, which basically functions much like any other computer, iOS based, Windows based. So nothing there that most people have not done. Have a valid driver's license. So as long as you don't have no dirt on you, you ain't riding around dirty. 18 years old with 2 years driving experience. Weekend availability. Have a smartphone. proficiency in English. So just be able to speak right, right? Ability to lift 75 to 100 pounds, and experience with maybe Google Sheets and Excel, which isn't all that hard. Highly desired. Okay. Experienced in leading a team of mechanics, results oriented, and experienced in repairing scooters. Okay. 19.25 an hour. Well, where was this location? Washington, D.C. Okay. We didn't see anything here, Mike, about a college degree, did we?
No, not even a GED. So
Hmm.
what we're talking about here is basic etiquette, basic literacy, and basic hands-on tool mechanics. I mean, it's not if you turn a screw, swung a hammer before. I think that's pretty applicable here. But
Okay.
the pay isn't something that we should actually be focused on. I think it's
Not
more.
necessarily pay per se, right? But what we're looking at here is entry into this industry, right? Because see, Mike, the perception is that when we talk micromobility, IoT, all this type of stuff, you have to have some sort of master's degree, right? And something rather.
Yeah,
And
PhD is
that
what they accuse you of.
right. And see, my what I'm trying to illustrate here is that what are the what was the, okay, not the barriers of entry, but what I'm saying is what are the opportunities to get into the venue? Okay. I didn't need a degree and all this stuff to get the job with Bird. I just had to be mechanically inclined. That's why I got the job,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I think a lot of skills can be transferred over that most people take underestimate. They think
That's why
that.
I wanted to kind of highlight this,
Yeah, I
right? Like
mean, you're using this as an example, but the thing here is overall, the requirements are going to be the same across whether it's Spin or Bird or
that's the whole
Lime or
point.
any of these other companies. It's going to be the same, and I'm thinking more along the line of Kidget, right?
Hmm.
If you could pull up his,
Hold on. Was
if
it
you could
what? I know Rich.
KIGT.
Was it? Hold on. IG Kidget
Yeah.
Kidget.com.
I don't know. I think it might be in
Because
the
I know
chat.
Rich posted. Hold on. Rich posted it. Let me look. He posted it in the chat. Let me see.
Yeah, Kidget Inc.
Well, because look, bare minimum, man. Some people are just on some job shit, and then if we talk micromobility, they'll think that there's no job aspect to it, right?
Uh-huh.
That's why I was even trying to cover it from a job standpoint. Now, Kidget, you had put me up on this cat was like a week ago, right?
Yeah, yeah,
He's doing more infrastructure based stuff. We can go there too. I don't care. We can talk about it. Let me see.
yeah.
Kidget.inc. Let me pull it up right now. Inc.com. There we go. Here, let me share it. All right, you guys see it? Here you go. This is that brother's company right here. That you just saw the video on. Is there somewhere specific, Mike, you would like for me to check out up here?
No, I thought we were looking at the job, so I think it might be in his in the
Let me see here. Oh,
let's go to service.
service.
I see. Oh no, it's
Wait, hold on. Let's see. Service, customer support, home incentives, news, investor site,
yeah. Go to
partners,
partners and
partners
projects.
projects.
Uh,
I think this is just everybody they've worked with,
okay.
which is interesting. Let's take a look real quick.
Mhm.
Okay, SoCal Edison, that is that's a utility here in SoCal. Okay, Let's see here. University of Laverne. My boy went there and graduated from there. UC Riverside. I had a homie went there. Damn. Okay. Okay. Hmm. County of San Bernardino. Yeah, because he's in the company's based in Ontario. That's San Bernardino County Economic Development Agency. Okay, this dude's doing his thing. West Covina, they're in the area too. They're in the same county. Wow. Okay. No, this dude's doing his thing. Shit. Hmm. Okay. Uh yeah.
No, it doesn't look like it's supposed to. Maybe he has a different way of going about bringing people on. But the point of the
No,
matter
I'm
here
I'm
is,
thinking
yeah,
I'm thinking what you're gonna have to do here. Because I don't have anything like that, right? However, look, that's what I'm saying. You come here, questions, comments, look for here for you peacefully, right? Yeah, just reach out to them. Because, I mean, companies like this, dude. Typically, what they'll do is if they have like jobs and stuff like that, they'll just go and throw them on like an Indeed or what have you, right? But if you know, and I know you told me I need to reach out to this dude to bring him on actually to talk to him,
I
right?
think he's going to be a critical factor
That's what
in
I'm
this
saying. That's
market.
what I'm like. I think really what it is, I just need to go ahead and do the reach out because, you know, even with me, dude, I don't have jobs posted on my site like that, right? I have shit that I could use people to do, but I don't have it up there. But so I can see this, but no, his this is all legit, dude. This is so legit. Look at that. He's got a bike right there. Yeah. So service the care service program helps you save time, money, installation, find incentive balance. See, I would reach out to him for this, right? Mobile app, public e charge touchscreen, predictive maintenance software, and then he's got the chargers. Level two. Yeah. I'm gonna reach out to this cat, man.
No, I think his technology is going to be a game changer, and I think brothers really partnering with guys like this, really bringing their portfolio to the table. I mean, he's providing the charges, you're providing the vehicles, somebody's doing the software um, integration through APIs and whatnot. I mean, his
Yeah.
platform, he talked about it in the interview where he says, "Hey, we have software that can scale up and scale down in terms of what kind of features you need and what features are actually necessary for you know the prospective customer, right?"
Mm-hmm.
He's thinking long term about this. He's thinking about equity. He's
Yeah.
using these sort of terms that says basically, "Hey, Dr. Dunbar, what's going on?"
Yeah. I just hey Dr. Dunbar, I just modded you up, man. Welcome. Appreciate
Yeah,
you for stopping by.
yeah, and the way he's thinking about this is we can't just leave certain people behind because they don't have the bread. We got to bring as many people on as possible because from a capitalist perspective, you don't leave anything on the table. Everything gets scooped up. That's the whole purpose of an ETF. The ETF has a basket
It's a basket. Yeah.
it's a basket of assets that can be purchased. Or I shouldn't say assets, but stocks that can be purchased. When you're thinking about EV chargers, yeah, they can't afford a Tesla, but what about electric bike? What
Mm-hmm.
about electric scooters? What I mean, these things are very prominent now since the pandemic has started. So
Mm. Man.
maybe we should run the video again because I don't think people really understand what we're really
I
talking
mean,
about here.
that's what I mean, dude. That's why I'm like, yo, when you first put me onto this cat, and I'm saying he's down the road from me,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna reach out because I got, I do. You already know I got projects in the works, and it's you know it's micromobility, it's electric bikes, it's electric scooters, it's delivery, it's ride share, and I need charging infrastructure. That's the one thing I don't do. Right? I have a partner that works with a company that does it. He himself proprietarily does not do it. I don't have a proprietary charge. Excuse me. I don't have a proprietary charging hub partner like that. I have a partner that works in it, but that's not what he does proprietarily speaking with his company, right? But he would be somebody I would want. I need to reach out to for local projects. I literally got shit on deck. I got shit on the table right now. I'm legit gonna reach out to this dude on Monday. I'm hitting him up.
No, I put the link in the back chat, but
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I see it right here. I see it.
yeah, yeah, and
Got it.
see, yeah, if you have a an environment, a community that has been underserved, what better way to serve your community than by providing the infrastructure that's necessary for them to move forward? What's the problem here? I don't see the negative aspect behind this. What, you scared somebody's going to put what some graffiti on it? I don't think so. These are things that don't really disrupt my ideas. I don't see that as something that well, I'm not going to put it there. What if somebody tries to take the charger? Where are they going to go with it? What are they going to do with it? It doesn't
Well,
work.
that's what, dude. That's how Bird looked at it, right? Like it used to kind of trip me out. I'd be like, "Damn, y'all just be throwing this shit out here. Y'all don't even care, right?" And then they'd be like, "Well, what are they gonna do with it?" And then after a while, it made sense. It's like, well, yeah, you really can't. You can't do nothing with it, dude. You just basically have a brick,
Yeah,
right? And based on how they have the insurance set up on all the stuff, if somebody took it, insurance covered it.
yeah.
Right. See, so they were just sort of like, okay, well, you're gonna take something, our insurance will cover it, but then you're gonna take it, you ain't gonna be able to use the shit anyway. Have at it. Right. But then you had other companies that were coming in and just building more tamper proof devices where they were just like, well, how about we just eliminate that issue altogether? Right. See, so now we're at a point where, you know, guys like myself, what we're doing is we're sourcing bespoke devices, right, that have all the technical components that we want, all the technical features, right, tamper-proof features and stuff like that, and then we bring it here. That reduces or minimizes that risk or that cost for damage and theft and all that kind of stuff, right?
Hmm.
And increases the time for usability and all that type of stuff. So this is where sourcing the right type of vehicles. There's so many aspects to this industry,
And then you
and
add,
it's so new.
yeah, but then you add somebody like Alonzo All Star into the insurance aspect when we start talking about the right.
I was just talking about them today.
But there's so many ways to go about this, and there's so many players in this, potential players, existing players, future players. We have the opportunity right now to be complete disruptors to an industry that's emerging.
Would we even be a disruptor at that point?
I
Are
think
we
our,
are,
our
are
I
we a
think
disruptor at that level?
I think our face is a disruptor.
Oh shit!
I think our face is a disruptor. That brother that was, Paul. I mean, if you get a chance to play the video again, Paul
Oh
Francis.
wait! I got it up. Wait, hold on. I got it. I just pulled it up. Hold on. Wait, I'll pull it up.
Yeah,
Wait,
our,
this.
our face and our gender is the disruptor. You can't play the video with the music in the back.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna. All right.
Person that is going to buy
Is
an
it good?
electric car,
Louder.
and seeing all of
Louder?
these charging stations
Right here?
pop up, particularly, Tesla's got
Yeah.
their thing,
Right there?
but there's other cars, the Rivian and all these other cars, as Janice just pointed out, she can charge her car at her house. I was like, there's a black man doing chargers out in the streets. He's got to be on the Carrot Hunter show. So
Maximize
first
it.
of all, tell me how you got into the charging business and where can we get your charger?
Well, I've been in the game since 2010. You see, the original founders of Tesla had a separate company here in Southern California that brought me into the business. We're working with cities and the ports, making your electric car power the building. You know, so that's how I got in and stayed in. So we manufacture in California. We just opened up an office in Brooklyn. You can buy our chargers or online or through one of our resellers.
Now, how is your charger? So say I have any kind of electric car that's not a Tesla, or can I charge a Tesla on your charger?
We're the charger company of the people. You see, Tesla made them for Tesla drivers. You know, so for us, we decided that it needs to be equitable. So everyone gets to plug in with KIGT.
KIGT, KIGT. Where'd you come up with this name, Paul?
It just flowed because every great company has that 2-syllable thing going: Apple, Google, Facebook. And so we were Keep It Green Transit. Then we made that pivot to being a hardware manufacturer. So we were Keep It Green Tech, but those were taken on the URL. So we made up a word called KIGT, and it kind of stuck. So we Keep It Green Transit, Keep It Green Tech, Keep It Green Team.
KIGT. All right. And
Nice.
you have I'm just looking at 220-volt level chargers. You have chargers for just about everything, and it's sexy. It's a sexy charger.
Thank you.
Yes. Now,
I've never
the
heard of
thing
a
I was thinking
sexy
about,
charger.
electric cars are classist, meaning, you know, people have to have a garage, and you have to have a little coin maybe to be able to access these things, to have the convenience of having it at home. You have to have some money. Talk a little bit about the equity that KIGT provides for people all over, you know, no matter what your economic status is.
Yeah, it's huge, right? We're expecting millions of more people to drive EVs, yet 70% of people drive pre-owned cars, and the EV market isn't flooded with affordability. And a lot of people, especially in California, rent. So one thing we've worked with are low-income family developers where we put them inside the home and they get the charge for free. Some projects we have in Oakland and San Jose area where they're going to
Whoa. Pause that.
Whoa,
Pause
hold
that.
on.
so that the
Okay,
people
okay,
in that
okay.
housing.
We work with low-income family family. I'm assuming some kind of social government developers to put it inside the home of low-income people so they could charge for free. He's eating a loss, but he understands what's going to come out of that. This is a smart cat, man.
Hmm.
It's a smart dude.
Well, he's been around since the time when Tesla first started with the cars that they converted Lotus Elises. Remember those?
Mm-hmm.
That's when he started working with Tesla. When the first Teslas were the Lotus joints.
Wow.
That's how long this dude's been around. So,
So
he sees the long game. He sees the long game.
but he's treating the EV charger in the same way that during the pandemic they provided hotspots, 5G hotspots, 4G hotspots for kids that were going to school remotely. He's doing the same exact thing, but
Same
he's doing
thing.
with an EV charger, and he's getting compensated for it by the government.
Yep.
Subsidy.
Let me go and play.
Go ahead.
Community can rent it to go buy groceries, even do ride share. So for us, our projects with the churches down in South LA and Hollywood, one of these projects we have here in Ontario in our backyard in a disadvantaged community, legislation that people may know them as opportunity zones. We figure we put them where the people are at. We let people charge for free through our software. And that way it enables more people to charge and be part of this.
Paul Francis is here, CEO, co-founder of KIGT, which is an e-charger. You can go to KIGTinc.com, KIGT Inc.com, check out the products. You have a home mini e-charger. What is this? How does it work? Talk to me about it.
Yeah. Okay, Karen, let me ask you, if you had a gas pump at your house, would you ever go to the gas station?
Hell no. But I live in Jersey, so the gas station in Jersey is not a problem because they pump my gas. I don't have to get out. So I just, I slide my money through a very cracked window and then they pump my gas. I tell them I do cash. So I don't get any change back. Keep the change. So I'm not touching anything.
Yo,
So
they do that in
germaphobe, even
Jersey?
before the pandemic.
Yeah,
You
that's the
touch-
law.
So I calculate
Oh,
how much
shit.
gas I need and then I bring the exact change. But yeah, I would rather not go.
I mean, nobody wants to go. I've been through Jersey. We were in Atlantic City this year, and that was my first time kind of seeing someone take the handle and not social distance at the pump. So having a charger at home, it's a convenience, right? Because I mean, imagine every
charge
morning
my
you wake
scooters
up,
at
you have a
home.
full tank, right? And then when you leave the office, you still have a full tank. Then after happy hour, the charger's there, you have a full tank. And then when you get home at night, that car actually helps provide the power for your house or for your apartment building.
All
And
right,
it costs
please wait, pause there. Pause.
Yeah,
How
dumps power
does
back.
it reverse? So I've seen cars that charge inside and out.
Mhm.
So you're telling me your charger, after my vehicle is fully charged, can then provide electricity. So there's a power outage in my area. My charged car can provide electricity to my home.
It can. So let me take a step back, but bring it to something more. So remember when Texas had that Arctic blast weather storm last year?
Mm-hmm.
There was a gentleman who powered his home with his truck. We powered a third of a city's parking lot lights with one electric car 10 years ago.
Damn.
So one thing has to happen. The automotive companies are now, the new cars coming out like Ford and GM, Nissan, they have that capability.
Hyundai, the Ionic.
Ionic.
The
I'm
Ionic is a two-way.
I don't know. I don't want to speak
No,
up.
it is. Hyundai Ionic. I know.
She's like, no,
advertising. It's a
nigga,
two-way
yeah.
Charger. You can charge on the
Oh.
inside and out.
Well, then see, we're trying to get with one of them. Honda, if you're out there, we submitted our project to you 2 months ago for your award contest. Let us know.
Haha.
We got a grant to actually do this from the state of California
Holla, holla.
with University of California, Riverside. So yeah, the car will power your home. So imagine when you get home, you can schedule the charging session, right? I don't want to charge when electricity costs the most. I want my car to power my house. And then when electricity is cheap, I'll press the button on the KIGT charger. That we're the first home touchscreen charger. So you have that Nest feel. So you can get the basic one, but if you want all the smarts and intelligence and not have to download another app, you get the Smart Mini. There's no additional electrical costs. You can do the scheduling, and we have a rewards program where you can earn money from actually charging your car.
And that's all $700.
Energy
Boom.
rebates.
$700. You can have a charger in your home.
$700 for the Mini, and then $999 for the Smart Mini.
This is amazing. Tell me about the business, Paul. Everybody's going green. Electric is the wave of the future. I feel like everybody's going to have an electric car in the next 10 years, and it should, because we should reduce our carbon footprint. How did you get into this business, Paul? What's your background?
Business. Entrepreneur. I was in transportation right after the recession. My daughter was born in 2008 on my birthday. She'll be 14 this month. But when the recession happened, I looked around and friends of mine were all competing for the same jobs with the same degree. And I learned at that moment, you got to pick something that's recession or even pandemic proof. And regardless, people need to move their butts. That's mobility. And people need to turn the lights on. That's power and energy. And I'm third generation energy, my grandfather, my mother. And so we started this business to blend both. When we decided to be the only African-American manufacturer of chargers that's utility approved about 8 years ago, that's when we said, we need to make a charger that's for everyone, make our own software, our own proprietary technology. And let's see what we can do with the business and grow it.
Now, if I'm in an apartment, Paul Francis is here. You can follow him at I am Paul Francis. I think that's on IG. I am Paul Francis on IG, and you can follow KIGT Inc. on Twitter and KIGTinc.com. I live in an apartment. Can I buy one of these minis and install it in my apartment or somewhere in the parking lot of my apartment?
I'm sure you can, because you're Karen Hunter. You have that influence and you know how to speak to people.
No, I will just do it. I won't ask permission. I'm just gonna put that jar up somewhere and there's somebody that asks me, what is this? That's what I would do. I'm not gonna ask permission. But
suffer the consequences later. No, so one thing issues. It's still real estate. You need parking spaces. So the property managers, these owners of apartment complexes are real estate guys. And so one thing we do, we have a program called KIGT Cares. So we go and speak to them. We speak to the property manager. We explain to them how we can actually pay for the charges, pay for 10 or 20 of them in the complex, reduce his cost of investment, make it where it doesn't cost him anything. And that way we're able to provide the amenity for you. We have a couple multifamily projects. We're doing that out here. That's why we moved to New York to try to get some going in the all the boroughs.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I mean, because there's a lot of cities like New York, there's Philly, Chicago. There's places, and I think for us, we don't all live in a home with a garage. And it's a little elitist. It's like I have a garage and my car is being, and it's not that you're rich, but not everybody has a house with a garage, and it's important that everyone has access to this because it is the future.
It has to be equitable. The most important part are the jobs, blue collar, green collar jobs. Because every time I put a charger in the ground, I need a construction crew. I need an electric. So I hire local. Our engineers are Black. My software engineers are Latinx.
Wait, pause that.
The team is diverse. So we understand when we go put this.
He says his engineers are Black.
Yep.
I mean, how much more butterlade does it get than that? But we've been trying to put people upon the game, so to speak, quote unquote.
I mean, it's Mike. We ain't the only ones out here, bro. Like, look at this cat. He literally, look at him right here.
Yeah. So when we say, well, what kind of jobs come with fourth industrialization? What kind of opportunities come with fourth industrialization? Engineer jobs, electricians.
Don't just take our word for it.
Master electricians.
Listen to this cat right here.
Somebody has to put the infrastructure into the ground. He designed it.
Yeah, he just told you. And who he has doing it, right?
Yeah. This is a major piece of the puzzle, but there's other pieces to the puzzle. You're going to need some blue collar cats who understand 5G, Wi-Fi. We talked about this on Ramil's. I don't know if it was on Ramil's.
No, it was a couple of days ago. It was on Ramil's. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about. I think I talked about American Tower, who's the largest cell phone tower company in the world, who puts up 5G towers all across the world. And I was approached during the pandemic where they were saying, Mike, do you know anybody in your circle who's willing to climb a tower and put these new 5G power cells up on the tower? We're paying $80,000 out the gate. Everybody has a role in all of this. Everybody has a role in all of this. Those e-scooters, e-bikes, microtransportation, it doesn't just work out of thin air. They need to be charged. This brother Paul Francis.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, dude, he serves like a pivot. Like, and I know what he's talking about, dude, because those charging hubs that they do, those charging ports that dude, those things are connected. They're integrated.
Yeah,
that's why I was like, I'm reaching out to this dude, right? Because I can integrate that into my shit.
Yeah, I looked up the grant. He got a $2 million grant just to do University of California, Riverside. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we were looking at the thing. The thing was there. UCR. I was like, oh shit, UCR, dude. Like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and you need a helmet to ride, some of these microtransportation vehicles, and you need insurance. You fall down, you crack your head. You get a few abrasions. Somebody like Alonzo Hall comes in and says, I have something for you. Download this app.
Man, listen, dude.
There's so many moving pieces to this.
He can tell you.
There's so many moving pieces.
Alonzo, salute, man. I ain't seen you in a minute, bro. What's going on with you, man? Welcome.
right? And people are looking at us and saying, "Oh, you guys are talking over our heads. You're talking down to people." How are we talking down to anybody? It's pretty much as layman as it's going to get. It's not going to get. We can't bring it down. We can't reduce it down any more than what we've just presented to you.
Right.
This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, $2 billion valuation on some of these microtransportation companies.
I mean, that's just those are just individual companies, bro.
Yeah.
That's not the industry writ large, right? They're not saying that the entire industry is valuated at $2 billion. They're saying no, one company within the industry is valuated at that. And you know what? There's a few companies that have gotten that evaluation that are in this industry. So what does that say?
Yeah.
And you got this brother here who's literally serving as a glue guy when it comes to the energy infrastructure.
He's an aggregator.
He's an aggregator. Right? Like this is he's the equivalent of what engineering cannabis says when he says you deal with the industries surrounding the weed, not the weed itself.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, only in EV. That's what this guy's doing.
Then
Perfect
you start,
example of it.
Yeah. Then you start factoring in, I mean, the technology, the data needs to be driven some way from an IoT standpoint. You got cloud computing, you got 5G as your backbone, and 6G coming on, and different sort of Wi-Fi and things like that, Bluetooth.
Mike, you got to understand, dude. Like listening to him, I'm just like, okay, if I can get on the line with one of the engineers, I'll patch them in, right, with my partners, and it's literally just an integration. This is how when we're at this point and what we're talking about here, this is what we're talking about, literally CTO to CTO.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. What are you guys running? What protocols do you guys call for? We'll look at what it is that we need. Let's look at doing an integration.
And then you start, but before you get to that point, you have to sign an MOU, right?
Memorandum of understanding, and even an NDA also, so that any information proprietary that's being shared, doesn't leave this chat line, right? But that's all that's required.
Yeah, but the point of the matter here is the stakeholders are Black men.
That's you damn right.
And so when we talked about earlier about being a disruptor to an emerging industry, it's not just the technology being a disruptor, but Black men's presence being a disruptor. That brother with his afro out and his t-shirt.
I mean, did he have a suit on, bro?
He is high value. That you're looking at high value. Damn what Seven Candles has to say. That's high value.
Oh shit. Oh my god. This nigga had the whole PZ afro, nigga, and the shirt with the logo of the company repping.
And you know
I didn't see no suit, bro.
And you know he told trees. He's from
Cali. You know.
So all of this all of this talking is fluster about who's select, who's non-select, and all these other aspects. It's irrelevant in the fourth industrial society. It's irrelevant. He is the only Black man doing what we're talking about right now at his level, and he is in the position to influence greater society and government on infrastructure development and urban planning. And then you start bringing in Pacific Rides and the great of the
I got a whole bunch of partners that I bring on, right, to integrate into his shit, right? All of my operator partners that not only that are here locally, but elsewhere, right? That's where I say, okay, hey, listen, because look, it's not as if my partners have some sort of energy
Mm-hmm.
charging hub infrastructure, right, to patch their stuff into at the moment. At the moment. But when I reach out to him, I say, well, listen, this is what I got going on here. I have an operator partner here, and over here, in these various markets,
Mm-hmm.
right? Here's what we're doing. How can we then take what you do, integrate into what we're doing in
Mm-hmm.
order to make our operations more efficient? That is the conversation that is, I don't want to say we need to have, that's going to happen with this guy. I'm reaching out this week.
No, and you look at the manosphere, right? The manosphere had I forget whose stream it was this week. They had about 600, 700 people up in there. If we're saying that 99% of those people in there were men, then you're talking about a whole entire startup workforce. That's labor. Somebody has to be doing something, whether it's swinging a hammer or writing code.
Shit, or deliveries for that
Yeah,
matter.
yeah. Managing logistics. The
Yeah, all
manosphere
of
has
it.
the manosphere has an untapped labor surplus under its feet. See, the value isn't in the analytics and the subscribers and whatnot. Nah, the value is in the people itself.
There's the people that's going to make it happen, because otherwise it'll be the people that then say, well, AI is going to take over what it is that we could do. And I'm like, okay, so which one is it? Do you want to do it, or do you want AI to do it?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it, or you want automation to do it? Because here's the thing, on our end, either I can have you do it, or I can have a bot do it. That's the position that the position that we're in. We're afforded that decision. Okay, I could put you in that position, or I could just relegate it to a bot, and we'll just call it a day.
I put that link in the back chat.
Okay, hold on.
Just pull that last link.
Okay,
I think that we
all
can
right.
close it out. But
Okay, hold on a second here. Let's see here. Okay, this is the one right here. Yeah,
yeah,
ABC News.
yeah.
Meet entrepreneurs of color building Tulsa's former Black Wall Street into a hot new tech hub. Oh shit! You know what,
Hello,
Mike? You know what,
hello.
Mike? Yo, you hear me?
Yes.
Do you hear me? Yo, we gonna close it out on this one.
Yeah.
God damn, I'm about to roll up after this one, cause nigga, are you? Did you send me this one? I don't remember you sending me this one, bro.
I post all these things on my Twitter page, on my Twitter feed.
Okay, yeah,
So
I'm due, bro. I don't even fuck with Twitter,
yeah.
because you just we text each other shit. I don't remember you sending me this one.
Nah, you got to get up on Twitter, bro.
Yo,
That's where Paul Francis and a lot of those guys are, man. That's
yeah,
let me post it in the
man, I
chat.
ain't fuck with Twitter since literally like the inception of that shit, bro.
Twitter has changed, bro. It's a whole lot of stuff going on Twitter, man.
All right,
lot of deals
man.
and stuff going on
All
Twitter.
right.
So
All right, I'm gonna fuck with it. All right. Okay, let's go through this one real quick, dude, before we wrap it up.
Yep.
Meet entrepreneurs of color building Tulsa's former Black Wall Street into a hot new tech hub. Oh shit, let's get into it. A community of Black entrepreneurs are shaking up the tech and innovation ecosystem and forming a new hub of digital creators, developers, and investors based in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Founders building founders building companies from the city say it boasts a pipeline of fresh and diverse talent, an enterprising yet collegial support system, and offers a cost of living that will make any Bay Area or New York based startup envious. This is true because I highly doubt Tulsa has the living cost of, say, a Oakland or San Francisco. For some, there is also the importance of building back the storied Black Wall Street that was violently taken from people that look like them in Tulsa just a century ago. Some 300 people were killed and thousands wounded when a mob of white vigilantes harboring resentment towards their thriving Black neighbors eviscerated a well to do Greenwood district and burned down 35 acres of commercial and residential property. Ain't that about a bitch? The legacy of the Tulsa Race Massacre, erased from many history books for generations, still loom. Well, interesting. Erased. Gee, erased. Anyway, still looms large over Black business leaders choosing to rebuild along the streets that haunt survivors every day over what could have been. Mike, I'm gonna stop right here just for a second. So that's one of the things we always hear in these spaces, right? Like the ruminating of what could have been. Well, we had Black Wall Street, we had this, we had this, we had that. But then we look at what's literally in our face today. It would only be fitting that we would use a Tulsa Black Wall Street model, right? And incorporate 4IR with that same sort of vigor and that same mentality. Right? Because what we understand is we're in a different time. We ain't dealing with vigilante mobs and shit like that. Honestly, what we dealing with is we just dealing with wayward ass niggas. That's the problem. More so than white vigilante mobs that's trying to burn down a whole community, 35 acres of a prosperous Black community. We don't see that nowadays. If anything, we see our own kind within said community burning it down and fucking it up. Am I right or am I wrong?
Absolutely.
Okay. The Tulsa Race Massacre isn't a footnote in a history book for us. We live with it every day, and the thought of what Greenwood was and what it could have been. Massacre survivor and World War II veteran Hugh Van Ellis told lawmakers when testifying last May over the debt that America owes. Carrying the weight of this history, a new generation of Black entrepreneurs are also looking toward the future and seeking to build up new generational wealth. Mike, isn't that a trope that we always hear oftentimes in this motherfucker, in this old Black manosphere shit, right?
Yeah, reparations or die, right?
Ha. Okay. Yeah. Here are the stories of 9 Black entrepreneurs reimagining the future of Tulsa through investments in tech, solving problems for consumers through innovation, and blazing the trail for the next generation of Black business executives. Malone Helms, an app and website that launched in December 2020 called Boot Up, has lived in Tulsa since December 2019. We do 2 things. We help companies solve their talent pipeline gaps by giving them access to the fastest growing talent pool of tech talent right now, and that's the non-traditionally trained talent market. So sort of like a new aged HR firm, Mike?
Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Malone told ABC News. But then we also help individuals increase their access to economic mobility through access to jobs in tech, even if they don't have a college degree or certifications like that. Okay, once again, I'm going to ask you this question. Sort of like a new age HR tech firm, Mike?
Yeah. They pretty much will be replacing LinkedIn.
Okay, all right. To date, Malone said they have placed over 320 people in their first jobs in tech. 320 people.
They place more people into jobs than some channels have viewers in the chat. Or maybe half the viewers, right?
No. I mean, you got people, bruh. That's something to marinate on, dog. Real shit.
Yeah.
Who's actually productive here?
Let them tell it.
Well, let this number right here, 320 people in their first jobs in tech, let that tell it, right? Well, let's continue. This is important for the community, he said, because at the end of the day, tech provides the most upside economically. Holy shit. I want to say that very premise is one of the things that this channel is hedged on, right? Or am I wrong, Mike? I mean, we're only 2 of the people that founded this shit, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
am I off here? Am I getting it fucked up?
Okay, go.
Okay, all right. The racial wealth gap has not gotten any better, he said. And there's really no industry where someone can start a company and have a multi-billion-dollar business in just a couple of years outside of tech. Okay, Mike, just quick question. Outside of tech, can you think of any companies or any sort of industries where you can have a multi-billion-dollar business in just a couple of years? Outside of tech, can you think of any?
Not at the pace and scalability of tech.
No. Okay. Me too. All right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I can't think of anything either.
Mhm.
The history and spirit of the black entrepreneurship is incredibly strong in Tulsa specifically, according to Malone, which is why it has been so important for him and his team to show what can be accomplished for the next generation. Martinson, the co-founder of the gamified education platform Bottle, said she hopes to use her company to address the issues of learning gaps in elementary classrooms and get more children inspired to inspired to love learning. I've seen personally what a good education can do to help propel you in life, Martinson said. And I want to help kids also be inspired to learn and get that good quality education. Mm. Martinson also moved to Tulsa in August 2020, saying she was inspired by the people she met during visits and not only the history, but what is being done to rebuild in Tulsa, especially around resources for Black entrepreneurs. Sounds like these people are trying to make moves, life moves, because they're fully committed, right? They're trying to
Mhm.
do what the same people did at the time in Tulsa. In Tulsa. Am
Mhm.
I getting it fucked up, Mike? Or
No, I think you're right on the money.
okay, because
Conti-
I'm reading this and I'm saying
Mhm.
like, damn. So even during the pandemic and all this, there were people that were inspired to move to Tulsa, Oklahoma, right, to reactualize what our ancestors had originally built. Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, I love how it's full community. I love how it's a full community effort. A full community effort. I'm gonna repeat that. I love how it's a full community effort from all the different organizations. Wow. All the different organizations. You know, Mike, if I were to correlate that to say like the black brain or the black manosphere or what have you, right? The different organizations would probably be like the different factions, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So there's cooperation and there's full effort in within this community, even from different organizations and entrepreneurial support systems, she added. Being a part of that is pretty special when you're in a place where there is alignment and mission. What are y'all here for? Quick question. For those of y'all listening, what are y'all here
Mhm.
for?
Mhm.
Just I'm just throwing that question out there. Let me continue. And everybody's on the same page and realizes how a thriving black community can help Tulsa as a whole community thrive as well. Now, I would also extrapolate and say there, well, if that formula would help the black community in Tulsa, I would dare say it would help the black community any fucking where.
Continue.
Lot, who has been based in Tulsa for some 20 years now, creates patented activewear and sport bras for fuller busted women, a subset of consumers often overlooked by the athletic wear industry. Right now, there's not a lot on the market for us, Lot told ABC News. So, our mission is really just to make sure that women have the support that they need and to know that bust size is not a barrier to their physical fitness. Now, listen, I don't have breasts like that, right? However, what we're talking about here is the impetus, it's the fortitude, it's the industriousness. It's what it's not is people telling you that the gynocracy is not going to let you do this shit. What it's not is people telling you that because, you know, I guess relationships are all fucked up, right? That people still can't get a clue and still can't get together and still can't be prosperous together. Utter bullshit. If you plug into channels that tell you that type of stuff, I'm going to kindly ask that you unsubscribe from them. Rebuilding Tulsa, rebuilding Greenwood. That was a passion of mine since I got here. Lot said of building her company in Tulsa. It's a great experience to really contribute to the history and to and those who came before us, and to also pass it on to future generations, i.e., generational wealth. As one of the few Black women business leaders in the tech sector, Lot says she sees representation as crucially important. Because if you can't see it, you don't believe it. If you don't see yourself in it, wait, let me get that right. Because if you can't see it, you don't believe it. You don't see yourself in it. She said of representation in tech. Once again, this channel pushes Black tech startup culture. You got to start somewhere. That start somewhere is in startup culture. This is how your Googles and all of your tech companies that they were once startups. So I do believe that it is important for Black founders or individuals, even youth. Mike, youth?
Oh, what about those kids?
What about? Okay,
I'm not taking
right
care
here.
of them. Yeah,
Right here.
Mhm.
So I do believe that it's important for Black founders or individuals, even youth, to make sure that they can see themselves in the places that they normally don't. Let's continue. Washington, founder of the nutrition science-driven meal prep firm Biteway, told ABC News that she grew up in Tulsa and considers it home, which is why she said it is so important for her to stay and build her business there. It's important to have my business in Tulsa because of course, the history and the spirit of entrepreneurship that lies there, Washington said. She just may very well be a cousin of mine. Black Wall Street was a phenomenal, extraordinary time and place that we had here in Tulsa, and it was destroyed, but it wasn't taken from us, she said. Very interesting point. Destroyed, not taken. We still have that spirit, and it still lives on. We're able to use that energy and to rebuild and reconstruct what was always here in the first place. While she was initially interested in pursuing a career in the pharmaceutical industry, Washington said she felt called to the food industry as an easier way to help people in her community lead healthy lifestyles through nutrient packed meals, which is absolutely true. Your food is your medicine. So before you get to a doctor, maybe we want to look at what we're consuming first. That may take us a long way as with regards to whether we need to go see a doctor or not. Lastly, Washington says she hopes that she can open doors for the next generation just by showing them that someone who looks like them can be a leader in corporate America. For me, it's very important to be that role model, or be that representation for little Black girls and Black boys that aspire to be an entrepreneur, or just even if they want to work in the corporate world, she told ABC News. They're able to do it. They have it in their bloodline. Let's see here. Kenny Onurua, co-founder and CEO of Come Home. Onurua hails from Raleigh, North Carolina, and his parents are from Nigeria. He founded Come Home.
Wait, is he ADOS? But is he ADOS?
Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. He hails from Raleigh, North Carolina. His parents are from Nigeria.
But is he ADOS though?
I don't know, dude. That's the thing, dude. His parents are from Nigeria. He's from North Carolina. I don't know.
No,
I'm
keep
confused.
reading.
Mike, help me. Help me.
Keep reading.
He founded Come Home as a tech-oriented service for men experiencing hair loss. Wow. Something that he said he has dealt with at a relatively young age. We're building Come Home for the 2/3 of all American men that deal with hair loss, about 50 million men, to help them embrace their natural evolution. Okay, I guess this is the brother right here. Yeah, that's him. In addition to creating an online community for men experiencing hair loss, we use augmented reality technology to actually help men who are dealing with hair loss visualize themselves in an authentic manner with a shaved head. Damn. Okay. Huh. Being in Tulsa really helped us to continue to be revitalized and reinvigorated based on the city's past, he said. He said the city also provides resources he needs for his startup. Now, I also want to shout out B Mays. That's the brother who's got the cannabis dispensary in Oklahoma City. So shout out to him. It's really easy to get access to network. It's really easy to get access to capital, and it's really easy to talk to the people that can really push your business forward. There's something special about Tulsa. Interesting. The access is just incredible here. Damn. You know what, man? That something's got me just thinking about this shit now. After receiving a full scholarship to Duke University, where he played football for 4 years, Davis said he. Oh wait, this is another person here. Chris Davis, founder and CEO of FanSub. Okay. After receiving a full scholarship to Duke University, he played 4 years. For football, played football for 4 years. Davis said he pursued a professional football career before he co-founded FanSub, a platform that allows creators and entertainers to engage with fans through live stream activations, marketing campaigns, and other high-tech ways. The Atlanta native said that his interest in the tech startup scene there led to his collaboration with former Miami Dolphins player Brandon King on FanSub. So now here we got two NFL players meeting up and ended up collabing on a tech startup. He said that he, King, and FanSub's two other co-founders, Cameron Williams and Michael Lombardi, were looking for a network to help us grow the business, and they found out about the Tulsa Startup Accelerator program. Okay, that's Chris Davis right there. The caveat was that we would have to move to Tulsa to participate in the program, Davis said. Once they arrived, they said they began to learn more about the city's history. It's really great to be in the midst of history in the revival of the city, Davis said. There's more to this opportunity than the accelerator program. It's also a way for us to be a part of this rejuvenation of Tulsa, Black Wall Street, and Greenwood, he added. All right. Let me do this. It's 8:30, man. I gotta get dinner together, man. My shorty's like asking me. I'm gonna drop this link here because Mike, you threw this link in the back, and I don't have this in the docket. So give me a second.
No, it's cool. I knew you would like the link. That's
Yeah,
why
man. This is
yeah.
this people gonna have to read this one, bro. They're gonna have to really soak this one in because what it kind of illustrates here is that we're not crazy, right? We're not the only ones thinking like this. This is why we got to do this, right? Boom, there it is, right there. Okay, we're not the only ones on this. I understand. There's a sort of black manosphere YouTube culture, right? We took the steps 4 years ago to separate ourselves to really sort of hone in on what the future was going to look like and where we may just actually need to pivot. And what these articles serve as proof and as indicators that we weren't the only ones thinking this way.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. We're not the only ones thinking this way.
Mm-hmm.
I would even dare say that, there's people in the Black manosphere writ large. They're actually searching or looking for this type of information because they may intrinsically be oriented to act in such a way. And the only thing that they need to understand here is that there are those of us who resemble us who are doing this and doing this at a high clip, at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think it's very important that this stuff be discussed the way we discuss it and to the depth that we discuss it. Because you got people coming out of NFL careers, to let general people tell it, fuck tech, you know, become an athlete. You got athletes that are like, fuck this, I'm gonna get into tech.
No, it's
Makes Yeah, you got it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, it's just one of those things. It doesn't. You don't have to be a rocket scientist, right? You don't have to reinvent. I mean, we're not talking about putting a man on the moon.
No.
We're talking about building on existing ideas or making the next step in transition from that previous idea that failed before or did not take off. That guy who in Europe who launched his startup, his after leaving what's the delivery startup out there?
Which one?
What's the delivery startup? Not Uber. Not Uber
DoorDash,
Eats.
Postmates, which one?
Postmates. He worked for
Okay.
Postmates and then
Oh, yeah.
capitalized off of that, and
Yeah.
now he has a company that's worth $1 billion in valuation.
Yeah.
This is
Postmates.
exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But now we see KIGT. We see Black Wall Street turning into a tech hub. Atlanta's a tech hub. You got all these moving pieces happening all at once. But in this space, if you went to most people's channels, you would never know that any of this was ever happening.
No, not a clue. What you'll get is the conversations about, I'm throwing this in air quotes, what we should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, we're highlighting people that resemble and look like us, showing you exactly what we should be doing. Now, we get shit on for talking about what we do, right? But I maybe if we show other people doing it too, maybe that'll assuage you a little bit more, right? Maybe that'll convince you, i.e., the brother KIGT.
Paul Francis,
right? The brother at KIGT.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, trust me, I'm gonna be reaching out to him this week. He's just down the road from me. He's in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm holler because I already know what he does. I'm like, I already got ideas on how I can integrate. I'm gonna be like, yo, let's see what we can do. I'm dead ass. I'm dead serious.
Add this to your docket too. I know you're gonna get a kick out of this one.
Yeah. Wait. What? Did you put?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up. Hold up. This one too. You want me to share the screen? Hold on. Let me close this right here. All right, y'all see this? Black Enterprise. You see it right here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see here.
No, you don't got to read it. It's just
okay. No. That's yeah. Meet the woman behind the first Black-owned community solar energy company.
So now you have a first Black-owned community solar energy company, first Black-owned EV charging company. Okay, you got Tulsa coming online as the new Black Wall Street turned into a tech hub.
You got brothers literally right here dealing with micromobility EVs.
You got maybe the first Black micro insurance company coming out of
Hey
Alonzo.
man,
It's just there's so many
we
things
gonna make it
happening.
happen. If Lonzo's listening, we gonna make it happen, dog. We gonna make that shit happen.
Yeah, there's so
He
many
gonna be the
things
first.
happening. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying there's just so many things happening, and a lot of guys are sleeping on a lot of this. You got recruiting firms about to replace LinkedIn, already placed 320 black people into tech jobs. What are we talking about here?
We talking about Nicki Minaj, bro.
Yeah. Right?
We talking about Nicki Minaj.
In child support, right? 500, 600, 700 people in the chat, black men, that's an untapped labor surplus.
Bro, we got 29 here right now. Ain't that some shit?
You got an untapped labor surplus of black men. And we want to talk about high value. Paul Francis, that's high value. Okay?
Oh,
That's high
yo,
value.
I'm telling you, I'm no shit. I'm hollering. I'm gonna holler at him this week, dude.
Yeah.
And fuck around. I'm gonna get him for we're gonna get him on the live stream, man. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into it.
Yeah, that brother who came from North Carolina working on the hair for hair transplant or hair restoration.
Yeah.
That's high value. High value isn't the suit and tie, man. High value is in productivity and what you do. It's what you can
I don't know. I'm seeing Cat with the PZ Afro rocking the KIGT joint, right?
Yeah.
The T-shirt.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I'm
what
saying?
you can. High value is what you can manifest. It's
You know
what you
what I'm
can
saying?
manifest, what you can produce, not about Brooks Brothers and K&G.
Right.
It's about what you can produce.
All to tell chicks that you're average at best.
Yeah.
What are we really doing here? Right? What are we really doing? We don't need all that, man. We rock the KIGT joint, the blowout fro, fresh off a freshly roasted blunt, and we're gonna give you the skinny on how this charging infrastructure works.
Yeah, you got Afro Tech Fest coming up, I think in June or something like that in Miami. A lot of pieces are moving around right now, and brothers in this space don't even know what's happening.
Hey, Mike, Ryle asked, he said, Mike V, what do you mean? And I'm gonna throw this out here and I'm gonna step away for just a quick second. Ryle said, Mike V, what do you mean LinkedIn being replaced? I'll be right back. Go ahead, dude. Handle that.
Yeah, Rael. So what I'm referring to is Complex was reading in that Black Wall Street article about a black group that created an app, for hiring black tech talent in Tulsa on Black Wall Street, which is their new tech venture. And so they placed 320 people into tech roles out there so far through their program and through their app and through their platform. And so that's what I was referring to, that you really wouldn't need LinkedIn if you have this sort of platform that's being developed on Black Wall Street. And so that's what I'm saying, that things are happening that a lot of people don't even know about because they're not tapped into the information. And so the purpose of this live stream and these type of live streams in this channel is to pipe that information out there and make sure that people are being put up on game, so to speak. And so that's why Complex fired us up tonight. He was really anxious to really get this out there. Being market disruptors, industry disruptors, the way Paul Francis looks, he looks no different than, to be honest, he looks no different than Complex. And disruption isn't just about the technology, it's about black male presence in these places. Okay? Your face, your gender, your posture, your existence is the disruptor. Be disruptive as much as possible in a positive way. Yeah, it's not about the likes and the views and the analytics. High value is about what you can manifest. I don't care how many double strap, single strap, monk strap, shoes you can get, or how many tie clips you have and what kind of cologne you wear. It's not about that anymore. We're talking a whole different ball game now. A whole different ball game. It's not about whether or not you can speak Spanish or you can speak Portuguese or French or whatever language you can come up with. Is, do you speak Python or do you speak Java or do you speak whatever language that they use on blockchain now, right? So that's where we're moving into the sort of digital mindset that a lot of cats lack in this space. They can't think three-dimensionally, four-dimensionally. People are laughing at the metaverse, but look at what the metaverse is doing right now. It's a market disruptor. YouTube was 2019. Metaverse is beyond 2022. And so a lot of people are still thinking about YouTube. They're still thinking about analytics. That was last year. That was 2019. That was 2020. You still talking YouTube after 2022? You're finished. There's no way you're going to be able to keep up. You got to get in early, like this brother Paul Francis did, the only black tech EV charging company right now. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. We Solar launches as the first black woman-owned community solar company in the country. Okay. Community-owned solar company by black people. Okay, that's what we're talking about here.
Yo, Mike, you there?
Yep.
All right. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm back, dude. So, hey, you want to go ahead and shut it down, man? You
Yeah,
get
we
some
can shut
last
it down.
words here? Yeah. Go ahead and get some last words, man. We'll go ahead and shut it down.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man.
Man, dude, I told you, man, stop saying that shit.
No, it's I think
Thanks for having you on, bro. Come on.
No, we covered everything that we could in the small time of that we had.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying, man. Because I had that. Man, look, dude. I woke up this morning, bro. Actually, what I did was I went to the recycler, right? Got all the stuff. I was doing some house shit. I came back home, and man, my bathroom was flooded, dude. I was just like, what the fuck? And man, it went from a 9 a.m. live stream. I got up at about 7 in the morning, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take care of some stuff, and I'll get ready, and then we're gonna, we'll get in early.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back, dude, and it's just like my bathroom was flooded with water. So, no, I appreciate you for rolling through, bro.
Hey, no problem. Have a good one, bro.
All right, bro. You too. All right, y'all. So, yeah, man, this was, our deep dive into the macro on micromobility. We talked about shit. We went more in depth on it. So Mike's opinion, if you were listening, dude, maybe this was some useful information, or maybe it was just more blabber. I don't know. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. The typical trope that you hear on YouTube. I was thinking about going live again a little bit later for a Sapio live stream, but I got a Porsche commitment tomorrow in the morning, and I'm gonna have to get up. So gotta roll. So with that, appreciate it. Y'all checking this live stream out, man. Hopefully y'all soak something up. Leave some comments. Let us know your feedback. Maybe some things you would like for us to discuss further. Maybe there were some things that you heard us talking about that you would want us to elaborate further on. Give us some feedback, man. Let us know. And with that, I'm Chunkin' Deuces. Peace, y'all.